What's going on, guys? How we doing?
What's good?
So, you know what? We'll go around the horn, and what we're gonna do is, so I'll go last, but I want you guys to all each introduce yourselves and then give your brief thoughts on the season finale as well as the season overall. You good, bro? All right. Well, we'll get to him last.
There. Oh, it doesn't work.
Okay.
I was trying to put this here.
All right. Cool. All right. So
up there. Dang.
Mugen Lord, let's go with you first. So just tell everyone about yourself, and then also everyone's links, by the way, in the description, and then also tell everyone your thoughts on the finale and the season as a whole.
Okay. Hey guys, my name is Mugen Lord. I'm also the owner of Venus Orion Comics. I just launched my comic book series, my first comic book series called VK, Variant Killers, Vampire Killers. Successful campaign. I surpassed my goal of $4,000, reached $7,000. So the digital comic just went out today, and I'll start fulfillment on the physical copies of the comic next week. So everybody be able to get their hands on it and everything. So really appreciate that. Now, as far as Invincible season 3 is concerned, it was really good. It seemed like each episode was like they just up in the ante with the action, the intensity, and everything like that. The thing I'm trying to still get used to is just how gory and gruesome it gets, like guts everywhere. Something I'm not really used to when it comes to like my superhero type of cartoons and just series in general. But overall, man, like I'm looking forward to see what they have lined up for the next season. So it's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's been super interesting. Darnell, over to you.
Hey guys, I'm Darnell Quiggley. I just do a lot of panel shows. Insert title here. Touch Grass with Theo Snodgrass, Weekly Rogues Gallery, and every other weekend I do a Curse of Strahd with Full Metal Nate. Also have an AI music channel, Sham Records, youtube.com/@ShamRecords. Make all kinds of AI music, and I do it for free, for fun. So yeah, this I was not expecting the last episode to go the way it went. I didn't think they would go that far. Is what I'm getting at. I've read the comics beginning to end. I know they do some pretty gruesome and I guess inappropriate things that you wouldn't expect. I thought this would have been like next season. I didn't expect it to all this happen in this one episode. I found this season was way better than the second. It was less preachy, more like superhero action and just kicking the shit out of each other.
The thing is, the two seasons I watched them both so fast. Because I marathon them, there's kind of some bleed over in my mind, but I do know like season 2 has a very definitive ending. Okay, over to you, Wyatt. Let's go to you.
Wait, what were the questions in order again?
All right, so just introduce yourself. What did you think of the finale and the overall season?
Hello, everyone. I'm PirateKingBoros, or Wyatt, if it's easier. As you can see, I am kind of a geek. I try my hand at many things. I do YouTube, I do Twitch streams. I'm working on an indie comic script. It's taken a while because I'm very meticulous about my writing, so I want to get that ironed out to a T before I even bother with anything else. So that's still a ways out. But plugging away and on the grind in multiple ways. Invincible, I have very complicated thoughts on Invincible, which we will no doubt flesh out throughout this discussion. But the finale, definitely the best part of season 3. Definitely the best part of season 3. Fun fact, my fan cast for Conquest was always Jeffrey Dean Morgan, even before I knew Steve Yeun was the voice of Invincible, even before I knew that, because like when I was reading the comic, I just read his lines in Negan voice in my mind from The Walking Dead. So I was like, you know what? Jeffrey Dean Morgan, do it. And then sure enough, they did it. So we got Glenn versus Negan, the rematch.
Yeah,
so
I thought about that when I was doing it. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. And
we'll get into
season, I think I'll save my overall thoughts on the season for our overall discussion because everything I have is kind of tangential. I do think it's better than 2. 2 was shockingly, painfully mid, unfortunately, which like kind of bummed me out because I love Angstrom Levy. But yeah, it was kind of mid. It almost, like, for example, I watched the show with my brother. Season 2 almost turned him off the show because of how, like, underwhelming it was. He was like, dude, it feels like nothing's happening. Every time someone gets punched into the dirt, the tail end of the episode is them climbing out of the hole. you know? So I get where his stress was coming, but it's like it felt like One Punch Man season 2, where like it started after a really hype point, but it ended before we got to the next one, and then season 3 kind of brought it back with, especially with the finale, because now stuff is finally moving, stuff's happening, like Nolan's getting back in the game, we got some more Alan action, and then we got the conquests. So overall, I think it's okay. I've read the comics, but it was years ago. But I remember enough to know, because the comics are 22 years old now, give or take.
Oh yeah. I remember because they were. I was reading the comics and they were talking about the new Star Wars movie, and it was like episode 1.
It was like Phantom Menace or something.
Yeah.
Either way, the comics are old. I read them because I remember the whole reason I read them was I got bored with Tom Taylor's Injustice. And then I went on to Reddit and I said, I'm bored with Injustice. What can I read? And I found someone had already asked that question and had a ton of other non-DC stuff responded to. And one of them was Invincible. So I tracked down Invincible on a free comic site and read it, like as much as was available. So I know most of the story. I think I'm missing like the last 10%, but as showed earlier when I almost broke my entire monitor, I'm starting to collect the comics. So that's cool. This is just the Ultimate Collection. I'm collecting these because they're hardcover, and I love me some hardcovers. So there are 12 of these, so it's going to be a bit expensive, but I think
how much did you pay for that?
Whatever the Amazon price was.
Yeah,
I just buy it straight from Amazon.
Skybound had a sale, like I think 2 Black Fridays ago, and I got like the first 5 for like $4 each.
Really? I'll have to look into that.
Website. They were just shipping them out, I guess, because they were doing like a mass reprint, or maybe they just wanted to focus on the compendiums. But I bought the first Ultimate cover, and then I got the next 3 for like $15 from them.
I'll have to look into that. But so I think that my thoughts on the show are complicated. Season 3, the finale of season 3 definitely was dope, though.
All right, Paul, over to you. Tell everyone about yourself, and then
what's up? Paul Thayer, the creator and writer of Project Naosis and Omega 2090 and Crimson Pain. Superhero sci-fi comic books. I travel a lot, do a lot of conventions. That's where I met my man Vaughn. And I'm indulged in all things comic medium, and I love Invincible. I thought season 3 was phenomenal. I loved the last 2 episodes. I thought it built up the right way. The only negative I would say, I was kind of pissed Langstrom was alive, but I guess that was part of the plot, because I only read up to where season 3 is where I stopped reading because I didn't want to spoil it. So despite that, I really enjoyed it. I think the fight scenes are really choreographed well. It's different. It's not the same cliche, certain things that are going on. I forgot what animated show I was watching. I think it might have been the new Spider-Man show, and everything was just like one punch, or a side punch, and then it was just like the fight or altercation was over. I like the long and intense fight scenes. Like, that was so inspiring of what that was, and like the same intensity of Invincible, to correlate it, that is the same intensity also for like my series Project Naosis. So if you like that gruesome shit, it's also in here, and in the first 20 pages you get that, nice little spine rip. So, but yeah, I love it. Love Invincible. Happy to chat about it.
Awesome. And look, we got another guy joining in just in time. Isaac, Isak, what's going on, man? So real quick, we're going around the horn. So tell everyone who you are, where they can find you, and then give everyone your quick thoughts on the season finale as well as the season as a whole, and then we'll go into a larger discussion.
My name's Isaac. I go by Isak on TikTok and other social media platforms. The link that I sent Vaughn actually was to my Medium page, because like that I'm gonna start focusing a lot more on Medium, because I've enjoyed that platform a lot more. I think that it's like free of a lot of like the other negative stuff. It's just like straightforward news about the things that we all love. I work IRL in special education, but excuse me. I'm currently writing my own comic. I've spoken to Vaughn about it. We've spoken about him potentially being my editor down the line, which is just gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But it's got a sci-fi fantasy focus. It's a combination of everything that I think I am and everything that I've consumed, and it's a love letter to it all. And I think that it's what we need. And I'm really excited to share it with you guys when it's ready. But
awesome.
I think that this show was incredible. I think that Invincible puts to rest. Oh, and before I keep going, should I censor myself like when it comes to swears? I want to be respectful.
I don't know. Is that I think we're allowed to do that on YouTube, right?
I think YouTube is just no slurs, right?
I think it's like the first after the first 10 minutes they're fine with cursing, but yeah, the slurs are.
Oh, we're past the first 10 minutes.
Yep. I thought it was 10 seconds.
We're past the first 10 minutes.
Okay.
Go nuts,
I heard
guys.
10 minutes, but all right, whatever.
Okay, so I think one of the like largest, like most typical bullshit arguments that we hear from everyone who really doesn't love the product, they're just kind of bandwagoning, is quote unquote superhero fatigue. Yeah. Invincible puts that to rest. There's no doubt. And they're not doing anything that's like crazy or like out of the box. They're putting like tried and tested stories, aliens and demons and just superheroes, and they're showing us exactly why it's all great. Like they're showing the heart of it, and I think that season 3 was the best example of that. I thought that season 2 was a step down from season 1. It wasn't bad by any means. I thought that season 3 was a really, really big improvement, especially the last 2 episodes. Like these last 2 episodes were like they were a work of art. I mean, it would be difficult for me to try and find something that I didn't enjoy in these last couple episodes. But that is coming from someone who hasn't read Invincible and like has gone out of his way to not read it. Like I have put every ounce of myself into avoiding spoilers, and that has been so difficult on all of these pages, but I've done it. I've done it so far. You know,
you're what they call it an invincible virgin.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to stay that way. I want to stay
pure.
Isaac, yeah. I'm just gonna say, like, this, you have a very special opportunity here. You're one of the people who gets to experience the adaptation, then the source material.
Exactly.
As someone who's gotten the reverse treatment, keep it that way, because then you'll be able to enjoy both. For me, I've like, as we get into it, you'll hear I have a complicated relationship with this show. So
see, and I hear that because I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar. The Percy Jackson series, I watched the first movie first and I loved it.
Me too.
It blew my mind. Black Rover, that he will always be black to me. I don't care. He's real. He's real to me.
And then I read the same way too. They describe him as white.
They describe him as white with red hair. I was like, whoa. But
that actor was iconic, so he did that.
But then reading the books, they were just so much better. And so yeah, I always just I seek the worst adaptation first, or the potentially worst, and save the best for last.
All right, real quick before we get to, because I want to piggyback off of that, my self-proclaimed evil twin, Vaughn for $2 says, "Enough of this gay shit, end the stream, lesser twin." That's not gonna. Thanks for the money. Not gonna happen.
Coloma, what is that?
I will say,
STD?
I don't. Vaughn. He just. I don't know. He just.
$5 more. He ends the stream right now.
But yeah, I mean, I have a weird, because I started the show and then I caught up, and then I started reading the comics after I caught up. So I I watched season 1 when it came out. Hadn't watched 2 until like last weekend. I think I was plowing through. Maybe it was 2 weekends ago. I don't remember. Plowing through season 2. Yeah, it would have been 2 weekends ago. And season 3, plowed through it, and then I started reading the comics. I'm like 30 something issues in, so I've been really going through it. So I'm kind of like, I'm interested in the changes. Some changes I'm like was better in the show. Some changes I'm like, why did they change that? I think it's a very mixed bag. So I'm kind of experiencing in a weird way. Like I was past it. I'm past it in the show, but I know eventually it's going to be the other way around.
So I think they're definitely gonna like stretch it out more. Like supposedly, like one of those scenes, if it was not to skip to the secret ending, that's like something that was canceled in the comic. But I don't know. I just read that shit. But you could do a lot with it, like especially with the one shots too. Like they could take a specific character and just do one shots. I know they're trying to build it to at least like 7 seasons. That's what they always say on the podcast.
That's always what, Robert Kirkman. I have the book right in front of me. Why am I struggling there?
What did it end? What issue?
144.
144 or 44?
Yeah, technically we're on like what 60, right?
Yeah,
so, like,
Jesus.
Yeah.
So,
But I don't know if anyone mentioned it, but like I forgot to. I just need to point it out. The animation in this episode is, I think, the best that we've seen in the entire series. Like
It shows
the fight was nuts. Like
that was
Martha
insane.
looked like a different person. Like it was.
Yeah.
They brought people in, and I was happy they
you
did
could
it.
see the techniques they're using too is very anime, especially when they were doing like the side profiles of them.
Yep.
I thought it was really well put together, and I think it was worth. Like, I know how people for the first 3 episodes were like, "Yo, this looks like shit," but I'm happy that looks like shit.
that's my. Can I interject?
Hold
here?
on,
Like the stills versus like, but like I get it where it needs to be stills. Like from someone who produces comic books, just from comic books alone, it's like you sometimes need to take that picture and just drag it over, and they have to move it and they have to like zoom out, like just to like build a story. Otherwise, like I'd rather have that for 3 episodes and then have the whatever it was last 2 hours of the show is just straight fucking insanity, and you still had the Nolan breakout fight and those other things that happened, which was like pretty cool. Like fighting Langstrom again, I thought that was whack that he came back, but I thought the fight scene was
it's like, I'm like, oh, maybe it wasn't okay, and then you see his face, and
yeah,
it's like,
and then he's alive again. I don't understand too how could they live from just being a tongue? Like I don't know.
Yeah,
did they explain it?
You know,
I mean, his back, his brain is his entire back. So technically, if you smash his head in, he still has brain.
But
matter.
him-
Okay, I
don't
can
know.
believe
I mean,
it.
that's-
The other guy
it's
too,
comic book logic.
The fucking what's the guy's name? The Conquest. He was a
Conquest,
tongue.
yeah,
He was a
literally
tongue
the
too,
same
you know why?
exact thing. Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah,
they
he's
don't.
a tongue. And who else was a tongue?
They don't ever.
I feel like
they don't,
a lot of people were just a tongue.
They don't
They
ever
really
explain
like
it.
the
They don't
head
ever
exploding.
explain it. They don't really ever explain it, but the basics with Viltrumites is unless you like physically tear their internal vital organs out,
Adam
they can recover from it.
Adam Eve was a tongue. I would be dead. You know, I'd be dead on the ground, dude. Like you'd bleed out in like milliseconds.
Yeah,
But yeah, to
now that you
piggyback-
mention it, the tongues thing is
Yeah, they
there's a
love the
lot
tongue.
of hanging out.
Yeah.
To piggyback off of what Paul, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, to piggyback off of what Paul said, the animation is one of the few things I have beef with this show. It's unfortunate how inconsistent it is, because that's part of the thing that like leads some people to just like it or drop it. Like, for example, I mentioned before we started the stream, my brother was kind of not into it.
It's number 1 though. You know, it's
Yeah.
number 1. It is number 1 on Amazon. It just beat Reacher, and I thought Reacher.
That's my problem. That's my problem, because I think Bezos is kind of an idiot. Jeff Bezos, the guy running Amazon, right?
We know Jeff is.
I'm just I don't know.
Yeah.
I had a brain fart.
Note to
Anyways,
chat, I love Jeff Bezos. Keep giving me more Amazon packages.
my problem with it is the animation suffer. The parts of the animation that suffer are not the animator's fault. A la 7 and 8, the last 2 episodes, like Isaac said. I forget I'm mirrored. Anyways, the last 2 episodes were phenomenal, and it shows you what these animators are capable of. So, Jeff, I need you to listen to me, Jeff. Why are you sending all the money to Rings of Power season 3?
Or we
Why aren't you sending all of your money to the show that is actually bringing people to your fucking platform? Why are you sending all the money to Rings of Power?
Also,
Why is
like,
this
there's-
show scrambling for pennies?
There's just no excuse. Like I've spent like the last year watching a lot of like 90s and early 2000s shows. And like what really drew me to them is the fact that there were like 30 seasons and 24 fucking episodes in all of them. Like they were putting out so much content every single year of every variety. And we can barely get a season of 6 episodes every 2 years with a production budget of like $200 million. Unironically. It's
Back
like
then,
there's
we
no
actually used to
excuse.
hire
Like,
talent.
It's insane.
Also,
Like no, it has to be money laundering. Honest to God,
That's why I was keep
it,
saying.
well, it's also all right. This is
Captain
another-
America
someone
was money
pointed-
laundering for sure.
Yeah.
It's also someone pointed this out.
He's in it for 5 minutes.
I haven't seen Captain America, but that's
Don't.
I haven't
Don't
seen it either. But
save your
everyone tells
money.
me he's in it for 6 minutes, and he's in 2 minutes in the trailer. Red Hulk is insane, and he's all the toys. He should have been in 2 hours of the movie. And it still sucks. He should be in 2 hours of the fucking movie. Then
Don't
That's
say
my
it,
opinion.
Vaughn.
if you don't have enough like toy power to sell toys like from the characters, like you have to use the guy at the end. No shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think like one of the things that was interesting about this, God, where was I going? I had a point, and then I just blanked. But one of the things I saw was like, hey, here's an idea. If they're having budget problems, how about you have just hire voice actors instead of having every character be played by a celebrity?
Jesus Christ, I'm honest to God. This is I wrote an entire, like I said earlier, I'm doing the whole Medium thing. I wrote an entire article about how Hasbro has fucked Transformers for the last 15 years, and that's one of my biggest gripes right there. That like Transformers 1, the reason they threw no money into the marketing is because they was like, okay, yeah, let's hire crazy expensive actors. Why? Why?
I asked AI how much they paid per episode. They said it's $2 million per episode that they spent on Invincible.
Oh.
That's insane. That's a lot of fucking money.
That is
Vaughn,
insane.
Yeah.
A lot of fucking money.
Vaughn, you know how you mentioned the celebrity actors?
Yeah.
You remember when during the Invincible War, so last week's episode, Immortal slams the no glasses Invincible into that pyramid and he gets grabbed by the mummy wrappings?
Yeah.
The young woman walks out carrying a woman who is limp and unconscious in her arms because Kaor tried to possess her and she passed out. That unconscious woman, when she was speaking, was voiced by Ella Purnell. You have a character with like 3 lines and 30 seconds of screen time. Why did you pay the Ella Purnell money? That's coming from her biggest simp, by the way.
Well, you know what? Honestly,
I'm just saying.
You met her, right?
That's why I'm pointing to my photo back there of me and her.
No, the only situation I'm cool with that is because she seems the type that like would probably just volunteer because she just wanted to be a part of the Invincible cast, just kind of like have her name. If it wasn't like a I want to be there for that sake, if they're throwing that at Ella Purnell,
So what was one of the first things you guys said before we went on stream? And it's what was trending, and I wanted to bring that up too, is everyone was saying that it was Glenn Negan rematch. And the only reason why that was trending and that was the thing is because they had those actors in place.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Everything is a pull for everything now. And especially that, for example, Negan will do a Comic-Con, and what would sell more than him just being, Negan? Now he's the next character, the character after that for animating. Like that guy Ross on Walking Dead kills it. He's Red Skull. He's a bunch of characters.
He's immortal.
Professor X.
He's immortal. He's Rex. He's like 4 or 5 other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are.
Ross.
He can do impressions.
It definitely brings in more attention, and that's what they need.
And I think Steven Yeun I was very happy with. I remember I was so angry because Glenn was my favorite character in The Walking Dead, and it wasn't until halfway through this episode I was like, oh yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's great. He's great in The Walking Dead. Wait a minute, it was halfway through the fight. I'm like,
there's no animation studios that are doing like the red carpet events. Like these famous actors are getting asked about Invincible now on the thing. It brings a lot of attention, and I like that Negan's on it, and I like that Aaron Paul was on the other episode. You hear it, and then they look it up, and then it connects more. You got to.
I do want to talk about Aaron Paul real quick, but first I have another super chat for $5 from Rob Liefeld. It says, sometimes when I'm alone, I cry in a corner while sending anonymous hate mail to Jim Lee. I also wish the Todd father would peg me. Thank you, Mr. Liefeld.
Anonymous.
I don't condone. Huge fan of Rob Liefeld.
I agree partly with what you're saying, that like that's the merit of celebrity casting. But again, you got to remember Amazon is making them put all of that money into the celebrity casting while also not giving them much of a budget. Like part of the reason when people criticize the animation too harshly, actual Invincible animators will show up.
Like how much max? Like, you know what I mean? No one's getting. I don't even think
that's 16 mil a season. That's literally like $1.
Just to do a couple lines is great. No way.
I mean, but like we're talking about 8 episodes.
They're doing
right?
it in their
We're talking
house
about
too.
8
They're doing
episodes?
it in their house. A lot of them in like their own. Like Steven was saying that he does it like in his studio in his house, or like they all do it separately. You know, they're not. I think it's a great gig. It's like, wow, I'm fucking these cool ass fucking characters. You know, I do think a lot of it goes into animation. We got to pay a lot of people. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying,
not
I think
like how it used to
Amazon.
be.
I think Amazon could afford to kick more money to their number one
Oh,
show.
100%.
That's
They
my
should,
point.
without
That's my
question.
point.
100%.
Regardless of, I think, yeah, if they were paying enough for it to like, and another problem I have is there are so many hyperbolic people on the internet who like to take what like animation criticism out of context. Look at my jacket. Look at my chair. I'm not saying that this should be animated like Arcane. Okay, I'm not expecting that.
Well, animation is not a respected medium.
Exactly.
overall.
That's why.
And
That's why.
That's why.
I'm just saying that they should. It's their number one show. Objectively speaking, this should be the thing getting all their time and money. Like The Boys is ending. Rings of Power gets like people to unsubscribe from your platform. Why is this even like something we need to discuss? So that's my thing. If I see PNG Invincible next season, I'm gonna lose it.
I'll be honest, I wasn't
we're
really
4
paying that
seasons
much
deep now.
attention to the animation quality. I didn't notice too much, but I also
I caught everything. I'm too attentive, my guy.
It wasn't even like
it could
the
just be. It's
animation.
probably just me because a lot of people noticed.
No,
it.
I'm like
It-
you.
it was-
I didn't really pay attention. Like I noticed the last episode, the differences, but like if it loses some quality, I don't really give two shits. I'm more concerned about how like video games. I don't care if it looks. Oh my god, it's so real. I don't care. How's the gameplay? That's all I care about.
Like for me personally, it's not even like a quality thing. It's like more so like a laziness, or not like a laziness, but like an appearance of laziness. Like when you see like a still moving shot type, like I mean like when you see no one in the background moving, like things like that kind of just like take life out of.
I have two examples. One, my brother. I bring him up as a perfect example because he's a normie. He's never read the comics, and he's not normally one who cares or is super critical. But by like the 6th or 7th scene where Mark and Eve are crying on the roof of his house, my brother just finally threw up his hands and goes, "They wear the same outfit in this scene every time because they're reusing the shot asset every time." Then my favorite example of a visual, like corner cutting bad animation look, when Oliver's punching the shit out of that elephant man, one, the entire fight, other than one punch, happens off screen because they're just staring at the static image of Eve and Mark floating there. And two, when he flies down to deliver the one punch to the elephant man, if you watch, he's literally a dragging PNG. And when he physically gets eclipsed by the elephant man, then they make the punch sound effect. You don't even get to see him throw the one punch that happens on screen.
I didn't notice that.
So I'm like, that's. And again, it's not the animator's fault. If you read the credits, they have like a 10th of the animators that a standard cartoon should have.
Jesus.
And it's because of how cheap Amazon is being with them.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh my god.
That is crazy. Then all things considered, I commend them.
No,
let me put it in perspective for you. One of the showrunners made a point back during, I think it was season 1, which was their most expensive season. The budget has only been cut further and further and further. It's only been cut further and further and further. Season 1, their most expensive season, was a quarter of the budget of The Boys. That's why season 1 is the best looking.
Jeez, it's cutting it after the show. Isn't it like gaining viewership?
I'm telling you, the number one most popular show.
The new season 16 to 22. So 22, let's say best case scenario divided by how many episodes?
8. 22 divided by 8.
Yeah, I'm retarded. Yeah, so like 2.7. It's up a little bit, I don't think you would pay though. Like, let's say, like, from the other perspective, if you had like $100 million, would you want to spend $5 million an episode? Or would you like to spend 2 and get the same effect? I'd rather get the 2 and still get that 1.
So, did anyone notice in the second season the how they broke the fourth wall with the talk about animation?
Mm-hmm.
Well, did you notice in the last episode there was a callback to that? Every time they showed the Pentagon, it was the same.
It was the same exact
truck passing.
I pointed that out every time. I pointed that out. Yeah,
I thought that was funny. I thought it was hilarious.
I didn't even notice.
In the comics, when I started reading it, because I will say, we could complain about the comics especially the first
same shot
bunch of
every time.
issues. so like to the point where I'm like, this is lazy. Like, I don't mind repeated shots for comedic effect.
That doesn't
I know
stop.
deadlines are a thing, but it was especially bad in the first couple issues. But like,
It's because
I was reading it, like marathoning it. If I wasn't marathoning it, I may not have noticed it. But I was on the airplane. I was on a ski trip, so I was marathoning like a bunch of Invincible issues, and I was like, every time they go to the Pentagon, it is literally the exact same shot. He reuses that panel so many times.
He did it for a reason, but I forget the reason why. Because I was back in 2005, I was reading it, and that's when I saw something where he said there's a specific reason he kept using that same shot over and over and over again. I think it might have been like making fun of other comics or cartoons and TV shows that reuse the same like external shot of a building.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was why.
Yeah. It's I did like that joke with the animation in 2. It was fun. I think it's funnier in the comics. Personally.
Oh, it's so much funnier.
But it's still like because it was the joke kind of goes on for a little longer in the show, but it still was funny, that animation joke. I think, God, I mean, when we go to this season, first of all, I want to say this because I use all social media platforms, and I will say, like, TikTok Invincible fans are kind of rabid. Like I'll be like, I like the show, but then I'll say like one criticism, and they act like I shit in their cereal. I'm like, I'll preface, like, I'll say, I like the show, but this, and they'll be like, normal people would just say they like the show. No, normal people, when I walk out of the movies with my friends, will be like, hey, I like this, I didn't like that's how normal people talk, right? They're like, how we're talking now. But it's like in TikTok, they like act like you personally insulted them if you criticize it.
I disagree. I feel like it's more normal to be how they are, right? Because like that's how fans are. That's like the whole concept of being a fan, right? Like you're looking at it from the perspective of like you're used to looking at the story in its entirety, right? And like so when you see Mark being a dumbass and like the whole Mark and Cecil debate, nonsensical. Cecil was right.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
But the reason that we understand that is because like the perspective that we're looking at it is like, okay, Mark as the main character to grow needs
to make a dumb choice.
He needs to be wrong.
I do like Mark for that
and
reason.
So like we understand that antagonism doesn't always necessarily have to be the bad guy. You know, like the main character can face that from someone who's not the villain, and that's all that Cecil was. And so when the main character faces that, the lesson that they learn is that they need to grow the fuck up. That like they have to become more. And fans of the show, people who are like just like watching it like as a fun thing, they're rooting for Mark. And if you're not rooting for Mark, then you're just not on their side.
They themselves can't handle that life is not black and white. Like there is gray areas you need to dip into.
I think the show has done a very good job. Like, because again, you're right. Cecil was 100. Because at first it was like they're not really trying to say Mark has like is because like there's some stuff where you'd be like, Cecil, why did you do that? But like he is right. You know, I love Cecil, by the way, because I'm normally not a fan. I like him because it doesn't go full blown cynical. You know what I like about Invincible. I want to say this is. Because I'm sick of the boys. So what I like about Invincible is it doesn't go nihilistic. It doesn't go. It feels like a true superhero story, but just without the comics code kind of.
What the boys wants to be so bad.
Mark's.
Well, I disagree. The
boys
doesn't want to be that. No, I disagree because Garth Ennis is someone who openly hates superheroes.
It's because
Robert Kirkman feels like
consumed by his nihilism. He can't get over it. Yeah.
Whereas
Mark's like George R. R. Martin. What?
Yeah.
It feels like Robert Kirkman was like a fan of superheroes who was like, go violent.
So
they're still bright and colorful. They're still trying not to kill, but they understand that sometimes in this world you have to do certain things.
No, see, when you say George R. R. Martin, that's exactly a perfect comparison with him and J.R.R. Tolkien. It's like he wants to. You're cooking. Yep, you're cooking. Yeah, go.
If you read if you read the individual issues, I don't know if the digitals have it, but when you get to the letters pages in the back, which doesn't really exist in comics anymore, Kirkman always does a 1-page, addressing the previous issues or this current issue. He will always talk about it. And he does mention what you talk about a lot about, people talk about my, commitment to this and I just want to tell a good, fun superhero story. Now, I do like Mark's constant hope and his striving to be better and his positivity. That is not something you normally see especially something over the course of an entire run, that is something that pretty much doesn't go away. That's what
how do you mean?
Huh?
I mean, I feel like wouldn't it be like consistent in like characters like Spider-Man or like
Oh,
somebody disconnected.
Who did we lose?
I think we
Paul.
lost
All
Paul.
right, he'll be back.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, like,
lost Multi-Paul. Oh no.
like Spider-Man or like Superman or
Yes.
like that. I feel like that's what makes a hero, really. Like,
Yes.
like that
Yes.
that unwavering.
And like I find like when you have the issues that are really down, or you have the storylines that are really like just kicking you in the teeth and the nuts, the kind of constant positivity is keeps you just like, I'm next page, next book.
Yeah.
It keeps you like wanting more.
I can only follow a Misery Fest for so long, dude. You know, that's the thing, right? Like,
It has to be a balance. Like if you want to make it
Yeah.
a misery, if you want to make it a misery fest, you can't. Like this is gonna sound weird, but like, has anyone here ever played a FromSoft game?
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
like that,
so the misery fest is abundant in those games, but the game itself is less about the characters and more about the world building. It's literally like the world is the main character.
Yeah.
And that is the balance. If you want to make it a misery fest, you can't make it about the characters because it will become emotionally draining to the point where it can't be followed anymore. Because that's why George R.R. Martin is struggling and fighting to find an end to his series. Because I don't think he's making any progress on that book at all.
Now, see, I gotta disagree with that. Only because if it's masterfully done, we see that it can be with Battlestar Galactica. Battlestar Galactica, it thrives off.
I haven't seen that.
Oh my god!
I haven't seen it either.
Oh my god! Oh no!
With how bad Star Trek has gotten,
with how
bad Star Trek has gotten, I gotta watch it. I gotta watch it.
You won't.
All right, confession. I've never seen anything Star Trek either.
Oh, really?
That's fine. With how bad 90% of it is now, you're
That's
missing
it.
nothing.
I'm sure it's hard to watch Star Trek, all that Star Trek stuff when you're crashing people's cars, so I get it.
Like
I don't crash people's cars. This is a deep lore.
You destroyed Arjun's car last week.
Wait, what?
So,
yeah, you destroyed Arjun's car. 15-mile-an-hour crash. It totaled his vehicle.
What?
Can I ask the panel a question?
Go ahead.
Can we go around and we say our top 3 Invincible characters so far?
Ooh.
Because I'm just gonna say, if season 4 gets as far as I hope it does, I know at least one that we will all have by then. But as of right now, what are our top 3? I'll go first. My top 3 are Nolan Grayson, Omni-Man. This is not in any particular order. It's just 3. Nolan Grayson, Omni-Man, Cecil Stedman, and Robot.
Mine I feel pretty basic, but I don't know.
There's no wrong answer. This cast is huge, and they all have like highlights.
Which I do think,
except for Immortal. Except for Immortal.
Yeah, dude,
if you say Immortal, I will drop kick
Immortal.
you.
Dude,
I like Immortal. I like him.
I was watching the show,
over here.
and I was like, oh, Immortal's like, I kind of think he's fine. And then I realized, I'm like, he actually, like, when I started watching, there are like 3 different videos popped on my feed explaining why Immortal sucks, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, I guess he's never won a fight. Like,
Immortal's
what has he really contributed? Like,
bro's deeply useless in every like kind of way.
You
Like,
don't understand. He won the Civil War and freed the slaves, though.
He's a distraction.
He's like the shittier version of other characters.
He's like if Vandal Savage became a hero but sucked.
Oh my god, that's exactly what he is. Holy shit.
I didn't think it out.
Yeah, holy shit, he's just Vandal Savage. Solid.
Maybe Vandal Savage is right.
Dude,
maybe you do become retarded if you're a hero.
This is like a hate campaign against Abraham Lincoln. I don't like it.
I guess my favorite 3 is Cecil, Rex, and of course Invincible himself.
Rex is actually better in the show, in my opinion. I think he's a
really?
little better in the show because in the comic,
I never read the book. So
he's
I never
an
read
asshole.
in the comic, he keeps the asshole part, and he does sort of start a redemption arc after getting his shit kicked in by the Lizard League, but it doesn't get near as fleshed out as it does in season 3.
Oh wow!
So the show did improve him a bit.
I want to say, by the way, I was on a ski trip and I was watching oh god, I can't believe it's been a week. The season finale with my friend. And he goes, as soon as Rex Explode goes, for the first time in my life, I'm really happy. My friend turns to me and goes, he's cooked.
No, my God, no, that ass.
Yep.
I looked over. Oh my God, no, that's exactly it. You could always tell it smelled like suffering was coming, and you knew it. It was bad.
Smell like suffering is crazy.
No, because like when motherfuckers is too happy, you're like, ooh, it's like it just feels like the end of an arc, and I don't see more for you, dog.
Which it
I
did
don't see
Robert
more.
Kirkman. Every time there was someone who was happy in The Walking Dead, I was like, all right.
Yep.
Done.
Yeah.
No, okay, I think
I was
mine are-
like,
Glenn
oh,
be
look
like,
at that,
my wife
Bob."
is pregnant.
oh, Glenn.
Yeah, really.
Back to it.
I think I got Battle Beast.
Battle Beast. Great character design.
Oh my God, he's just
The character
like,
designs in Invincible, I love them.
Now that
like,
they got him,
like,
now that they
his
got him out of the
existence-
vacuum of space, Vaughn, you're gonna find more reasons to love him.
Oh yeah.
like genuinely in any story I write, I will just have a brolic monster, just anywhere, just a chaotic monster, because like he's just so fun. He's like the most fun character I've seen in a while. But Battle Beast, Cecil, so well written. Like he honestly, I don't know if you guys have ever watched it. Like one of The Rock's early movies, The Rock and Exhibit, but like his episode reminded me of the Gridiron Gang, because like he's so deeply compassionate. Like there's no cynicism. He literally rehabilitates criminals. Like it's insane to me that Invincible, he's fighting Cecil. And he's like, no, Cecil, you don't train these people to be better and work for the people. You throw them in holes and leave them there, Cecil. Like what like what's the logic there? What's the logic there, Mark?
Yeah.
But no, Cecil's up there, and shit, one more. You know, Invincible. I mean, why be different? That's why he's the main character.
Hey,
Bro.
if someone tells me Pikachu is their favorite Pokemon, I don't judge. I just say good for you. You know?
Exactly, you know.
I
So
love Pikachu. Yeah, Pikachu's one of my favorite Pokemon. And I hate to see, because people, when I say that, people are like, you must, and I'm like, no, I love Pikachu.
if people tell me Superman's their
Raichu
favorite
might be my
DC
favorite
hero,
thing.
I'm not mean about it. I'm just like, hey,
See,
whatever
no.
works for you.
That's
Yeah,
100%
there's a
true,
reason
but I
for
also
it.
have every
I love the whole
variant
Pikachu line.
of Action Comics 1000. I have like 14 versions
I
of
have
that comic.
one version. Oh, that's good.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's see. All right. My top three. I'm gonna put for an honorable mention, I'm gonna put Robot for an honorable mention.
Oh yeah, he's up there too. Yeah, he's great.
Because my main three are kind of basic.
He gets more focus in the future. Like he had a lot of focus in season 1. He showed up in season 2 and 3. He gets like the story begins to pivot back to other characters other than Invincible later.
If they stick to the books.
I think they're going to. The only thing, like, I'm not going to spoil, there's one arc in particular that doesn't really advance the story. And
Is it
ultimately
I'm trying to say it now.
Can I just say the title of the arc? Can I just say the title of the arc?
Yeah,
It doesn't like
Go
spoil anything. It's called the reboot arc, and it kind of doesn't do anything to progress the overall narrative. And I really genuinely think Kirkman might just cut it. Because if anything, no, if I'm not going to spoil. If anything, it makes the character it concerns primarily. It makes them look like character assassination levels of bad.
Really?
Yeah, I can talk. If you, I'll post my Instagram in the chat. We can DM about it later. That's a really, it's one of my least favorite arcs in comic book history, based upon what there's a main character it concerns primarily. He makes a decision by the end, and it's like character assassination, because it really, by that point in the story, by how far he's gone and how much time has passed, he would not make that decision.
Okay.
It would be like, let's say, because you know how like
we'll have to do a full
Spider-Man
spoiler discussion at some point when I can.
Sure. We'll go into it later. There's some stuff that got cut that I'm like, did you need to cut or trim that down? And there's other stuff upcoming that I'm like, please cut that, for the love of God, cut that.
Yeah, there was like the first storyline of the Invincible comic they cut, like with the human bombs. I was like, this like, and there's like two really early, like in the first 13 issues, they cut like two of the main storylines, that, and then also the one where there's the butler that Black Sanson has. And I'm like, you know what? I get why they cut, because these are both dumb.
Yeah.
They're dumb.
Well, the bomb part makes sense, because they decided early on, because basically, for anyone not in the loop in the chat, the show is not an adaptation, it's a redraft.
Yeah.
It is a redraft of the Invincible comics. And I get it, because if you know the story of Invincible starting the comic, it's a bit rough, because it starts with a 2-page in medias res beginning, which is like, it's not showing him in like a relevant plot point. So like,
It's just to catch the attention.
We need to start in medias res when it's not a relevant scene? You know?
Yeah,
so like
because
that makes
like,
sense.
That's interesting. And then they get to that part in like issue 5. And I'm like, what?
And then it doesn't really mean anything. It's just saving people from a bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was to catch the attention, I think, is why they did. Because it's a very basic origin.
I think it was his excuse to show off the main costume in issue 1.
Well, that was also Robert Kirkman's first like foray into making comics.
I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying like that makes sense why that was changed.
Yeah. Like that and Walking Dead came out around the same time, and
unlike
says,
Amber.
Oh yeah, Amber was.
He says he was just like, I was a freaking Wet Behind Ears kid. I didn't know what I was doing.
That's so awesome.
So my favorites from the show is
3. Remember 3.
Yeah. Mark. I'm trying to remember his name. Jeffrey Donovan. The one that he does the robot. He's the voice of the robot that the robot mafia guy.
Oh,
I'm drawing a blank.
Machine Head.
Yes,
Machine Head.
He's in your top 3. What?
Honestly,
I love
that.
I love Jeffrey
I'm never
Donovan.
letting you go.
I love Jeffrey Donovan. Jeffrey Donovan's his voice is just it's compelling.
Jeffrey Donovan, that's the Burn Notice guy, right?
Yes, and the guy from Blair Witch 2.
I know him as Jeffrey Donovan as the Burn Notice guy, and from Wrath of Man
or
Wrath
Shut
of
Eye.
Man.
Oh yes,
those are the two things that come to mind immediately when I hear of him.
Yeah. So Machine Head, Mark, and Alan
the alien.
Well,
okay.
No,
Yeah,
hold on, wait,
great.
time out. Alan
That's
from the
great.
comics. We're talking about the show because I don't like Seth Rogen. I'm not a fan of his.
I don't like his Alan. Unfortunately, it's too bomb.
Nolan.
Nolan rocks.
Because I know,
and he's only going to get better.
I know it's coming, so he's my top 3. Yeah, Machine Head definitely.
See, I was rewatching that fight scene because the comic, it's so much like they really dialed up Nolan in the show. And then so when I got to his redemption, I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I could see it. He's not as bad. Like, I almost feel like in hindsight, maybe his redemption might be harder to justify in the show because he goes so much further on Earth. Like that, I didn't realize that whole train scene, that was for the show. That whole part where he kills those 2 pilots, where he destroys the cruise ship, that was added. That whole, even the building where he's holding on to that family, was added.
Is there anyone left in those areas to be upset about it? Really? I mean, it's been a rough fucking year. It's been tough.
I was thinking that, like, who's left alive?
I mean, I'm not gonna spoil, but with how they handle it in the comics, if they follow a very similar path, then with what they do, they come to like a consensus in the comic. If they do the same thing in the show, they can make it work. It's going to depend on the writing. If he handles it exactly, it's going to be tricky, but it's doable.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
it's doable. It's not like, has anyone else here seen Arcane?
Yes.
No.
It's not like
no.
Arcane.
What are y'all doing?
It's not like Arcane.
It's not like Arcane. That's on my list too.
It's not like Arcane season 2, where a certain character gets a redemption arc out of nowhere, and it makes little to no sense because of how much they speed run it.
God, those last couple episodes made me so sad because it was like they could have been so much better. It was so obviously smushed together.
I don't even beyond that comparison. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm writing I'm literally scripting a video to talk about it right like as the weeks go by, and it's like 47 pages long, and I'm losing my mind because every time I think I'm done writing that script, I find more, and it only gets worse. And oh my God, Riot, why do you have to be so greedy? Netflix, why do you have to be so scared of spending money on good shit? And Christian Link, why are you such an immature child? Ugh. Anyways, back to Invincible, a show that hasn't fallen off near as hard.
And it never will.
No, Darnell, you laugh. Picture if you went from Game of Thrones season 1 to Game of Thrones season 8 in the span of a season.
Well, that's what I heard about.
That is insane.
That's what everyone I know who watched it has said. They've all said that, and that's what's kept me from watching it.
Watch season 1. Season 1, you could say it has a soft ending.
Yeah, it's good enough to watch on its own. It's one of the best pieces.
I have severe OCD, and if I start something, I have to finish it. Like I cannot stop.
I mean, you can for the mental completion medal, but like it's season 1 is good enough on its own that you can watch it, be like 10 out of 10. That was great.
Okay.
Time to watch something
I think
else.
like the animation and the like the art and especially the music and like a lot of just like the vibe of season 2 is worth, I guess, experiencing, but just just don't expect to be satisfied by the story itself.
And the cast has some restraint because they cast actual actors, but they don't cast actual actors that are all S tier and $1 billion to hire.
God, I think that like the method of adaptation like that, like you had mentioned the redraft, it's just great. It is just how like it's how I think American comics should adapt the like manga to anime method. Like that's the Americanized way to do it. Like it's the perfect opportunity to take like long form stories that work, like 100-issue arc stories. Like let's say like you could have Jeff Johns run it, like inspired by everything that he has done, and create something new, like some new Bruce Timmverse type animated thing.
If the MCU was doing it, they'd still be making money.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's true. Like there's stuff like you, for example, because you'd have to write on a monthly basis with comics, right? If in hindsight is 2020, so you could look at that and go, yeah, but we could have done this earlier. Like Invincible, there's like stuff that is like in the later issues, or it's just later as in like post season 2 that happens in season 1, but you're like, yeah, it makes sense why they put that earlier in the rewrite. You know?
Yeah, I think they should start with the Absolute Universe, DC and that. But hey, that's a whole different thing.
The DC Universe, I used to be a believer because anything sounded better than the Snyderverse, but just the sheer ineptitude that James Gunn is already demonstrating, I think they're cooked. I'm sorry. I'm going to see Superman, and if Superman is a 10 out of 10 dunk, like slam dunk from across the court, hell yeah, I'll be there for the next one. But I watched Creature Commandos. I thought it was okay, but the sheer volume of like behind the scenes petulance that James Gunn is capable of, the egotistical, like infantile tantrum flailing that he is apparently engaging in behind the scenes is kind of embarrassing, and it makes me worried for the future because he seems like the type to burn something if he can't have it.
Damn, I wasn't even hip to any of that. But
you seen the Penguin?
Yeah.
You seen the Batman?
Yeah.
He is outspoken that he hates both of those things, and he wants to sabotage Matt Reeves and make sure he can't get the second Batman out because he wants to write his Batman movie.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. See, like my issue with James, well, not even an issue, but I just didn't like how little information we were getting. It seemed like for years, like all of the info that we got was just kind of like hype. And I don't know if y'all were there, but I remember years ago, because they were like, hey, I know that you typically watch Arrow at this time, but fuck your schedule. We're going to throw on a Jeff Johns and Zack Snyder led Unite the Seven panel to hype up the upcoming Justice League movie. It was literally titled Unite the Seven, and the Justice League movie dropped with 6 Justice League members. Like there was absolutely no fucking planning at all at any stage. It was
you forget it was totally part of the plan to put dude playing.
They have an intergalactic threat, and they don't put a Green Lantern on the team. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
It's insane. And that's like when James Gunn showed up, it was like, oh, you know, he's got experience and all that, but it's just kind of been more of the same. And recently they announced like some animated projects and shit, like the My Adventures with Green Lantern, and like
Starfire.
Like, or what the fuck is that? That's okay. I'm not excited for I'm glad that they looked at My Adventures with Superman, which is a fun show. It's not terrible by any means. I'm glad that it came out, you know, which is as great as I can give DC a compliment, because it's like the fans have been in an abusive relationship with that company for years. But I'm glad that they're expanding on it. And past that, there's just been nothing. Like Creature Commandos.
I saw Creature Commandos. I liked
good.
it.
It was fun. Peacemaker was like fun, but there's like this, like I feel as though he doesn't get the like how big it is. Like these things should be larger. Like you shouldn't be like, why are you making like an authority movie? And he's trying to do something.
Did you hear? He's not
new.
He's
and
not.
All these things. Yeah, like good.
Apparently
good.
he's
I'm
not.
glad they're moving away from that bullshit. But like you should be focused on fucking Superman, the Flash, Green Lantern. Give us what
well, he is fucking Superman.
You know what I'm saying?
Why
Yeah,
are we I want
Why
to
are we
know
getting
why
old
he's
ass
making
Green
so
Lantern?
much like random
All right.
stuff.
Hold
Why
on.
would you
Yeah.
On and all, but
Sorry,
boys, let's
sorry.
get back to
Oh,
Invincible.
yeah,
now.
yeah.
I'm so
All
sorry.
right.
I'm so sorry.
Mugen,
It's
you haven't
comic
had the
brain.
chance to talk. I'm sorry. Have you? Was there anything you wanted, or?
Go ahead.
Okay, I was just curious. I didn't because I hate one thing. I hate is like when one person feels they can't talk. So I wanted to make sure. I think so. Getting to this season overall, I will say because it's interesting you guys bring up two as a lower point because again I marathoned it. I think two has like because it has the kind of like the bookends with Angstrom Levi. I think one thing this season kind of lacks is the bookends. I feel like it's just kind of I don't know if you guys would disagree with it, but it's like starts with like I'm mad at Cecil, whatever, and also what was his name, Doc Seismic, and it ends with Conquest. It feels like we had 8 episodes. How far can we get in 8 episodes? Let's have us all be getting us all ending, but it doesn't really feel like they're that linked. Whereas season 1 was like you see Invincible is starting up. He's looking up to his dad. His dad is a killer. And then the finale is he finds out, has to fight his dad. Season 2 is Invincible has to confront Angstrom Levi, and then by the end he has to try and like do whatever with Angstrom Levi, and by the end he has to fight Angstrom Levi.
All right, I'm gonna take one for the team, guys. Yeah. It's Angstrom Levy.
Is it Levy? Someone corrected me on TikTok.
It's Levy. It's Levy.
Levy. Okay.
So, right, I mean, I
that's why people were yelling at me at TikTok. Okay, thank you.
I think like most like great stories, like it develops as kind of like a growing tree. Like the beginning is centered around like the same things. Like it's a lot more centered around Mark as a character and Omni-Man and their relationship. But as it grows and as more characters are introduced, we're gonna get more complex and interwoven like plot lines and story threads. So we're gonna see like what seems to be disconnected, but what I hope and what will, or I mean, determined by how well the writing is, it'll interconnect, and it'll be satisfying. Like that's what the hope is. But I mean, I think that the fact that each of these storylines are so satisfying, like in and of themselves, like the introduction to one of the episodes was like those two. It was like a couple that were criminals, and I don't think that there was like a line spoken. It was just like almost entirely silent. Like that's great. Like it felt like I was reading this one shot inside of an episode. Like I think Invincible has done the best job of really adapting the feeling of reading a comic book to a series. And when I see like a lot of these different plot lines and stuff like that, it reminds me of some of the greatest comics that I've read that like surprise me with their depth and their complexity, while also kind of like giving me the conclusion that I expected. And yeah, it's like I forgot what I watched that said it, but it said like the creativity is like the combination of like finding the obvious path where no one sees it type thing. Yeah. Like seeing what no others do, and that just seems to me like what Robert Kirkman did here. Like he is doing what's fucking obvious, just putting his story on the screen,
piggybacking,
and it's just crazy that no one else has done it. But I'm so good.
Piggybacking off of that, and sort of responding to your point, Vaughn. It's more of a meta bookend. It's less of a narrative bookend and more of a meta bookend, because the coming arcs are going to have earthbound stories and cosmic stories happening simultaneously and interweaving and interacting to varying degrees of success. Like one, for all its faults that some people might have with it, Invincible is one of the most ambitious comics in the modern era, in my opinion, because of it tries to, because you know how like Marvel has all its different settings, DC have all their different settings,
right?
But unless it's like a Justice League book or an Avengers book, it's very likely you won't see both in one issue. Meanwhile, Invincible, you'll have one issue with like 10 different POVs and it'll switch between them all.
There's always the A and B storyline in every issue. Always. Sometimes it's C and D.
Sometimes even an E if they have like a gag character doing something.
Yes.
So it is because I think he's trying to, in a meta sense, set you up for that, because yes, there's trouble at home with Cecil, but then at the end, Conquest shows up and smacks his teeth in.
Yeah. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if Kirkman, maybe it's just because I'm a huge Claremont X-Men fan. I'm almost done with the original run. I was going to finish it, and then I stopped to read Invincible, and then I'm going to read all Invincible and then go back to it. But I feel like he definitely pulled from that, because Claremont really was a huge, multiple plot line. And I think Kirkman was really, if I were to guess, I haven't seen but I imagine, everyone read that. So I imagine he probably read that. Because that would kind of just
that. He does.
That
was an influence to him.
I'm not remotely surprised by that. So I could definitely see that. And I think it's really interesting. Real quick, I want to bring in my next boy, straight from the short bus. Battsauce, how you doing, man?
Hey,
What's up,
man. I was watching the Invincible episode. I fell asleep. Am I right, everyone?
I like it.
Oh, no, it's so hard putting the kid to sleep not to fall asleep, too,
Yeah, you preaching, brother. You preaching.
So what did you think of the episode, buddy? We're
I'm overall very positive. So here's the thing. You're gonna hear a lot of complaining from me tonight, because I overall have a lot of negative thoughts to the Invincible series, but I like this season 3 better than the other 2 seasons, definitely. But yeah.
That's just no. Like I kind of agree. It's better than 2, but I still think 1 is the king. Really? You think 3 is better than 1?
I don't know. Well, I got a lot of my issues stem from there's some serious power scaling issues. And then character moments that are just dude, what's her name? What's the black chick's name?
Amber. Yes.
Amber. I'm like,
the weakest part of season 1. Weakest part of season 1.
Yeah, I was reading the comics. I was like, she's so much cooler in the comics.
No, it's no. You don't understand. This is a trend in modern media.
Oh, I understand.
To take a character from X story, race swap them, and then write them to be unlikable as hell, and then slander the audience as racist for having a problem with it. This show did that so much to an effect that me and my fan base have now taken to calling this trope the Amber effect.
Well, yeah, there's some.
That is how bad they did it.
The whole. This is the worst trope ever that needs to die. Oh my god, you kept a secret from me that was totally reasonable. And then just get so pissed off. That's the worst fucking trope. That wasn't in season 3. So
dude, when I read the comics and got to that part, she actually is like, I understand, because it's a big deal.
No, you're not a drug dealer.
Yeah, you're not. The way that reveal comes, because I'll be honest, Amber I thought was kind of the way she asked him out, I thought was kind of lazy writing in the comics, because at first she was an afterthought, but once that happens, I was on board. But at first I thought she was kind of boring. Boring was better. Boring and undercooked was better than really unlikable. But I was still like, this character kind of sucks. But then I liked her. The way they do that reveal, the way he tells her about it was so good in the comics.
The thing in the show, I don't know what Kirkman was thinking. I'm going to write this character to be a arrogant know-it-all skank, and then I'm going to also make her black. Why? Why did you think I'm going to make her worse, and then I'll make her black?
Yeah,
he wrote her as a character first, and then they casted her as Zazie Beetz. So then they decided to make her black.
She's Zazie Beetz?
Yeah, she's.
I like
Domino.
her.
She's Domino from Deadpool.
Yeah. What's funny about Amber is that my first post ever, when it comes to me in real life, I'm just not a big social media person. I just don't really I've never really even taken a selfie to post out there like that. But my first public post that I felt like I had to share with the world was an Amber hate post. And I think I sent it to Vaughn like a year ago or some shit. But it was just a long paragraph. I was just she's just so awful, and that just snowballed into other shit. But yeah, it was Amber. She was just it was she was written to be hated, But unlike every other character, every other like heel that's like supposed to be hated, the show was like, hey, and you're a bad person for hating her. You're the piece of shit, just like Mark. Like, what the fuck is happening? Oh my god, I'm glad that she's gone. Yeah, no, I'm glad she's gone.
I don't know if you guys have seen it. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I don't want me over with her. Like she was.
Yeah, what
so...
you made it short. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no.
What are you talking about? Like they tried their hardest to make her not the most despisable character ever.
I don't know if you guys saw it.
But she was a different character, though. She was a different character, but like she literally had a personality chop.
No, she got a fucking lobotomy. They gave her a lobotomy.
She was a different
Mark.
person.
I'm with my new boyfriend now, Mark. I'm glad you're happy. And then
as bad as Tanya, why you
know what? You know what?
Mark? Nuts.
You know something? I think they cut out the abusive boyfriend subplot. I think they cut that out ahead of time, but on a whim, because they were scared that they'd get those Kang memes.
Yep.
You know, those memes where it shows the crowd of Jonathan Majors going, yeah, woo! Like, I think they were scared they were going to get those memes in the comments if they adapted that subplot, because there's a subplot of her getting beat the hell out by the new
same
boyfriend.
Thing with the Viltrumite chick. I get drawn a blank again. The one that comes.
Anissa, the Anissa scene hasn't. It's not supposed to happen for like another.
I know.
30 issues.
I don't think they're gonna do it. I don't think they can do it.
I think they're gonna do it, because how else will they bring Marky? How else will they bring Marky if they don't do it?
I don't think they can do it.
Damn,
guys, spoilers. Yeah, we said no spoilers.
Crazy fucking word. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, really.
Damn you, Darnell! You triggered my brain. I winter soldiered. He winter soldiered.
All right, no more of that. I tried to avoid it. I'm sorry, Isak. I did everything. I'm gonna blame Darnell and Wyatt here. But
you started it.
All I said was I don't think they're gonna do it.
Oh, never mind. It was Wyatt.
That's all I said. They're not gonna do it. And I left it at that.
Yeah.
Never mind. All right. So I think
Battsauce, have you read the comics?
I watched a lot of YouTube videos on it. I really I was really negative to season 1. I know a lot of people love season 1, but
there are a lot of problems with season 1.
Yeah, and more power to you. It's just personally, I'm just like, can you decide whether the people's skin is paper or not? Because I'm watching these fight scenes, and it's sometimes they can karate chop through somebody like their paper, and sometimes they can't. And like for example, when the Battle Cat, whatever, came in, whooped their ass. Battle Bees, yeah,
Battle
whatever.
Clapped the whole squad, sent them home in a pack.
How did they gain their energy back to fight them again?
Well, that's the thing that gets me about Invincible, because a simple slap, somebody eyeball come out and shit like that. And I'm like in most of my shows, when you see somebody's limbs come out, that's normally like, oh shit, that really happened. But Invincible, it's easy for it to happen.
Invincible,
and then some people come back to life. Like some people out there, I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Angstrom.
It just
takes Invincible thrives on shock value. Yeah. Shock value is good, and there's a place for shock value. And some shows can have it more than others. Game of Thrones, for example, but it's like it needs shock value for everything to go forward, and it just, to me, it feels cheap, but it seems to be extremely effective.
I mean, that's what you get when you get the superheroes written by the guy who did Walking Dead. So
I personally don't take it for the shock value. My larger issue is, where the fuck is everybody else all the time? I'll give you the Omni-Man fight. Sure. Omni-Man pulled up, surprised the world, beat the dog shit out of his own son. Who was really going to pull up and stop him? And he did it over the course of 5 minutes and immediately left. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Where the fuck was, if everybody could assemble and pull up to fight all of the Invincibles, they were Conquest pulled up to New York.
Power scaling
all of the superheroes were rebuilding New York 15 minutes before. I don't know.
Well, you can say they're already defeated, but like I said before, the power scaling is the issue, right? How is Adam Eve not the most powerful? How does she ever struggle in a fight?
Yes. Yeah, she gets nerved, and then that's
she's a lot more formidable in the comics. A lot more formidable.
Here's
even so, it's just there should literally be no way for her to lose with her power.
2 words, Battsauce. 2 words, Battsauce. You want to know why she's so nerfed?
Why?
Animation budget.
Wait, so like
No. That's not. That's no. They can just have her have shitty animation and still win the fight. It's
so
not
this
that.
is like
It's
the
just
story argument that I've heard for her, because like if you watch the Adam Eve special, evidently like she's a lot crazier as a kid. She's a monster as a child. Like she's crazy, but as
Reminded
an adult,
me of Laura.
you just
from
don't see
X-Men.
that. Like the story, I guess, reasoning that I've come to is that like it's more fun and flashy. Like I think I read it somewhere actually, but it's more fun and flashy and like to do over the top shit, like to create a giant mace and then like some statue and like jump around and fly. But like as an adult, after like 20 years of superheroing, you just get to the conclusion that creating a box around someone is 99% of the time the most effective strategy. Like what we're seeing is her fights against the top 0 or like 0.0001% strongest in the universe. Like 99% of the time, all she really has to do is build a box and fly away. So like she
pull the oxygen out.
Yeah, I hope that she locks in. I hope that this is her Gohan awakening moment to get back in the fucking gym and, you know, do whatever she has to do to prepare for the next, because they coming.
Well, okay, so another
she
power
needs to go
scaling
find
thing.
like the Professor X of Invincible and have him like delete her psychological barriers. That's what she needs to do.
So, like,
she needs to Jean Grey up in here.
That won't make a difference to the way that the show keeps doing its writing, though, because we had an episode with like 50 Invincibles, all who have conquered their universe.
15. Just say,
okay,
15.
whatever, 15.
15.
Either way, 15, all that have conquered their own universe, yet they all struggled against like basic ass superheroes. Like, how the hell did you ever conquer your universe? This just doesn't make sense. Like, okay, sure, one, the loud sound technology, okay, you know, maybe they just don't have that in the universe. But like, what about the other 14? Like,
hey,
someone brought up
fucking mess. I gotta be real with you.
No, someone brought up Conquest pulls up. Where's everyone else? A lot of people are dead. Like
there was that.
I mean, you gotta.
They didn't set clearly what happened.
Well, because
killed their Omni-Man.
A lot of people
because if I may,
because of the wonderful things he does.
Don't do that. Because the shows, again, I'm laying it at the feet of Amazon here. The show's budget hurt it.
It's not the budget. It's the writing.
Battsauce.
No budget. They need paper and pen to write the story.
No. Battsauce. You don't understand. They need.
No, in the comics, they got defeated in worse ways. I know one got strangled with a shoelace or something like that. So that excuse ain't gonna work with the yeah.
But if I may, in the comics, it also kind of bends over backwards to explain how shitty a lot of them are, because in the comics, it goes out of its way to show that Angstrom Levy is. That's another problem I have with the writing of the show. It doesn't firmly establish just how insane Angstrom Levy is, because in the comic, he's so insane, he's not actually gathering the Invincibles strategically. He's just grabbing randos from the multiverse and making false promises. Yeah. So that's why in the show, they make it look like he lined up like a gank squad. And I'm like, that's wrong. Because in the comic, it does like this Watchmen style paneling where you see all 15 faces. They don't do that weird like Dark Avengers lineup at the end of episode 6. They don't do that in the comic.
But there was one Invincible that it was like pretty objectively clear that he was there just to look for his mom. Like he wasn't like maniacal or evil or anything.
That one wasn't even like killing anyone.
And then you had like the Omni-Man one who was like, "Yo, you don't have to swear to one of
that
the
one." That one made me laugh. I love seeing that role player in the. I love seeing that role player in the comment on Instagram Reels making memes about Invincible. They're like, you know, like super villainous meme, and then in the comments you'll see a guy with that Invincible as his profile pic, and they'll be like, "As long as he's not swearing, I don't care what he does."
Dude, like,
it'll be like something like that.
When it comes to the Invincible War, like, funny enough, I think it was awesome, but like, I just am not even like in the slightest bit entertained by Angstrom Levy. Like, I don't give a fuck about him at all, even in the slightest bit. Like, I don't care.
The show does him so dirty.
Every scene, really? Like, I care more about like the people who repaired him. When I saw them, I wanted to know more about them.
We'll get more. Don't worry.
He's just not interesting to me. I guess it's like you said, maybe they did it better in the comics, but like,
it's not that there's.
Don't buy the beef. I don't buy.
His origin was so avoidable.
Yeah, like I don't know. I just don't.
Also,
think
I
anyone
am
would
I am
be
a
that mad.
staunch
Like,
hater of
crazy.
the no kill rule. Like I'm okay with it with
Really?
Batman,
I like it.
but the no kill rule is
Mhm.
like definitively retarded. I mean,
Mhm.
like him arguing with the Omni Boy, like, no, you can't kill people. Like, no, definitely you can kill some people.
Don't
like,
worry.
Cops,
Don't worry.
Some.
cops every day kill
I mean, you
people in
finished season
self-defense.
3.
Just it's the same
You
thing.
finished Battsauce. You finished season 3.
Yeah.
So
Don't
so,
worry.
so
No.
you know that's
I'm-
over now.
I'm happy with that resolution,
Okay,
but I'm
good,
like,
good.
thank you for finally getting there. It's-
You just had to stop. You just had to
really
stop
like
a murder boner debutante from genociding the planet before he got
Yeah.
there.
That motherfucker. Was
yeah, like 3
horrifying.
times though. It
Oh my
took the
God.
3rd time.
I stayed, like I said, I
Third
stayed away
time.
from spoilers. I was not prepared for this. That shit was scary.
Dude,
They.
I know
Conquest-
it's coming, and I was
Conquest
scared for Mark.
crazy.
I know it's coming. I was still thinking, holy shit, he's not coming out of this.
They need to turn him into a nugget. Fuck it. You got to take that man's arms and legs. You have to. You got to do what you got to do. It's crazy, but you can't leave him alive.
That's a good
and
point, yeah.
functional.
So
Like, that's
speaking
what
of that,
I'm
there's one thing that always bothers me, especially in like animation for like superheroes, when they spit their teeth out, they'll have them again the next episode.
Well,
I know they regrow them and all that stuff.
I was
It's
gonna
like-
say Viltrumites have like a really shitty
Right.
healing factor, so it's
Right.
not with them.
Right.
It's an exception, but
But
yeah, I get
no,
what
but
you're saying.
I want to say, and this may be a spoiler, but it's a very minor one. In the comics, they talk about how we can regrow body parts and put them back on people and stuff like that. But like the teeth, like how Omniboy spits out 8 teeth. But I guarantee you, episode 1, he's gonna have all his teeth back.
Another show that's hilarious about this is One Piece. Every 5 fucking seconds, someone's getting the teeth blasted out of their mouth. Like Luffy, every time he takes a punch to the face, he's missing his front right tooth, and then the very next scene, it's back. And I'm like,
I feel like
what even is continuity? Who cares?
The
It's One
writers
Piece.
don't understand that like the crazy thing about the teeth falling out isn't that it's like painful. It's that it like happens so rarely.
Yeah.
Like if you do it all the time, you can't help but not give a fuck. And like, how do you not know that as you write it? Like, it can't be that awesome to write over and over and over again.
Well, that was another thing that was like, because in season 1 there was this whole thing where the brutal deaths, like when they would die, be like they're dead, like that. It
Like, that motherfucker exploded every time.
And then I think what killed it for me,
Darkwing's head.
I think what killed it for me was season 2. There's that whole Lizard League part where I'm like, oh my god, we're getting those stakes again. This is crazy. And then 3 people die, except just kidding, none of them did.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Like Gigantovich surviving that bullshit was insane. Like,
No.
that no sense.
Shrinking Ray. Shrinking Ray.
Shrinking Ray.
In the comic, Shrinking Ray is a guy, and in the comic, that's where he dies.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's where he should have.
Okay.
Okay.
So I gotta ask.
So they just let her live so she could be sad.
They just let her live so she could start
She was
a faux relationship that
She
went
has
nowhere.
Nothing.
So wait, yeah.
No.
He didn't do anything.
No, there's a
Yeah.
word for this. It's called the reverse fridge.
The reverse fridge. Oh, Colorado.
Well, so that's what I was gonna ask was like, because that like relationship with Rex felt out of nowhere. Did that feel the same for anyone else?
Battsauce.
Yeah.
In the comic, Rex is kind of the same as the show. He's an asshole. He almost dies to the lizards, and then he starts to redeem after his brush with death, and then he does his sacrifice. But it's so much more abrupt in the comic that it doesn't hit as emotionally as Kirkman intended.
Yeah.
So Shrinking Ray is literally a reverse fridge, where instead of dying, she lives and she is present in his life to bolster him as a character, so we can see how much better of a person he is to make his death more impactful.
Jesus, I thought you were joking about the reverse fridge. That's fucking genius. That's like that is.
Dude, you've gone with some banger
that's
terms,
smart.
dude.
No, that's like
No, I think it's funny because it's literally the reverse of like when they gave Kyle Rayner a wife for one issue so the villain could murder her and stuff her ass in a fridge. It's the reverse of that.
See, this is why I tell people all writing, all that it is just gaslighting people really well. That's all that it is. Like just kind of manipulating people into feeling things. That's a crazy manipulative way to write a story. Just make your character not a dick.
I like
do that.
No, I liked it better
Good for
in
them.
the
Good
comics
for them.
because
It's artistry. He's creative. He's a great writer.
I liked it better in the comics because Shrinking Ray dies, Duplicate almost dies, Rex gets fucked up. Rex lives, decides to be better, gets like a few minor moments of attempting to be better, but then his final big better moment is sacrificing himself. My entire skeleton. Like I think that's cool. Him,
cool.
the superhero jihad was actually pretty fire. I like that.
Dope.
I will say the music afterwards killed it.
Billie Eilish, really.
So
anyways,
dumb.
That was great.
anyways,
No, I thought it was dumb. I'm
In the
saying
comics-
in a bad way. I thought
in
that
the
was
comics-
stupid.
There's no Billie Eilish music in the comics, is there?
in the comics, I think it's better.
Imagine.
I think it's better because it helps ground the narrative. You
The
could
comic came
decide
before she was born.
in the
No, it didn't.
Yeah, right.
Just barely.
no, but here's my point. Let's say like I'm a really shitty person. If I decide to be a good person right now, good for me. I could still walk out in the street and get hit by a car tonight. Real life is tough. So the idea that he's like, that was crazy, that was close, I'm gonna be a better person. And then the Invincible War happens, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna channel my my good person energy and make it count in this one moment. It's a bummer I didn't get more moments, and I was like, damn, that's
great.
Wanna
sucked
bring
for you,
up
Rex.
real
So I'm
quick.
like, who? Sorry, go for it.
I was gonna say it was pretty crazy. Galvanite's part in the Invincible series was pretty
what are you
nuts.
talking about?
He killed his kid. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah.
Galvanite.
I saw that comment.
Oh, you mean
Yeah,
Powerplex?
Yeah.
No, he's talking because the character in my comic is Galvanite. He has lightning powers, and he's trying
Vaughn.
to
Oh,
like him name again.
I'm sorry, dude. I have psyoped myself into your comic, and I keep thinking that the dude's name is Phenomenova.
No,
Yeah.
Phenomenova is gonna be the name of the team.
I almost said
I love it.
I was the same thing. I was the same
This
thing.
is the
I gotta
cover.
admit, yeah.
This is
Where's
the
the
cover.
team, Vaughn?
That's
What is this gonna
Phenomenova.
do to my brain?
That's
what is this gonna
Phenomenova
do
right
to my
there.
brain, bro?
I
This is
was warned
Phenomenova
of this.
right here.
I was warned of
That's
this.
Phenomenova, yes.
It'll
Yeah,
make-
look
it'll
at
make
the
sense.
Nova that's happening around him.
It'll
Yeah,
make
but
sense
this is-
years from now. But I've had
in the
people who
future?
read the book, I guess like you, be like, "So what is Phenomenova?" I'm like, "In the book, the word Phenomenova, the word is
Issue
spoken
8,
in
guys. I
this.
swear I'm getting them together.
No, there's gonna be an issue.
In the future, when you have the full team on the cover, that issue will disappear. But I'm saying for right now, I've psyoped myself into calling this
It's called
Phenomenova.
Galvanite.
It's called Phenomenite. That's his name, Phenomenite.
Yes.
No, I will say that with the Powerplex or whatever, I really liked his part in there. The voice actor was kind of annoying. I will say, and it happened a couple times in this season
No.
specifically. I'm just like a little bit too far with the kid killing. Like, come on. I mean, like we saw that one coming a mile away, and you're just like, please don't, please. Oh, Christ. And you're just like, why? Because you couldn't spare this one character just to. Come on.
So,
Yeah.
Battsauce, I take it you haven't seen Breaking Bad?
Well, no, I'm not saying that it's not effective sometimes, but it's just
no.
like,
I'm saying, have you seen Breaking Bad? Bear with me.
No, I haven't actually. No.
Okay, Breaking Bad has Aaron Paul as
Yeah.
the secondary main character. Aaron Paul is Powerplex voice actor. One of the most iconic memes to come out of Breaking Bad is Aaron Paul screaming at the top of his lungs, he can't keep getting away with it. So for me personally, a guy who is most renowned for the meme of screaming the phrase "he can't keep getting away with it" at the top of
I
his
didn't know
Oh
that.
wait, did he not say
being
it?
being casted, casted as the guy whose whole point is Invincible can't keep getting away with it. Like it was
Yeah.
genius.
Yeah.
Like
Dude,
you
it's so good.
And he's one who probably did it for like scale or for nothing because he's a comic guy too.
Can I be honest? Oh, is he? I didn't know Aaron Paul.
Aaron
was-
Paul. Well, I know I forgot where I saw it. He's into. He may not anymore, but he did mention he was into like comics and stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
think he did. He'd have been one of the ones that did it for like scale or nothing.
totally, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I think, God,
And then Mike was also there.
Mike.
Okay, Jonathan
what?
Banks plays a character named Mike Ehrmantraut in Breaking Bad, and he is the voice of Britt, the old guy who's like, "If
Who
you
the fuck
die,
is that?
if you die, tell us. That way we can send someone else. Go, go, go." That guy.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. No, I think.
And then there's another baby
can I-
hero that they had to just show get squashed. And just like, come on.
Business baby.
It's just a little unnecessary.
Battsauce. He is only there along with a few of the other randos to cover up the Image Comics characters they could not get the rights to keep their cameos from
is
the
that
comics.
right?
Because if I may, the
like,
dude,
Witchblade shows up, right?
the dude tackling. You remember when one of the Invincible doppelgangers tackles a wolf out a window and is punching him in the face, saying, "I killed you in my world. I'll kill you here too." You know that? In the comics, he's not wrestling a Wolfman. He's wrestling Spawn, which is crazy. Because you're right, the power scaling does come up again. I'm like, wait, there's an Invincible variant who killed Spawn, and he's not
Spawn variant. Weak, evidently. Let's not go crazy. That Spawn is unkillable. I'm
the weakest Spawn could still kill like thousands of fictional characters. So like,
yeah.
So the new Guardians of the Globe, that was another big complaint I've always had. Whenever they put the team together, I was just like, wow, you pick like it's a bunch of retards picking a bunch of retards.
Okay.
I'm like, out of all the powers gonna pick, like duplicate. I'm like, just kick her from the like. You're gonna choose Duplicate and Adam Eve, right? Because she won't stay because of Adam Eve. And you're like, okay, we can have God, or we can have person that can multiply into more useless people. Like she can't do anything. She kicks people and does nothing. What's 0 times anything? It's still 0. Duplicate's fucking useless.
No, I love that we saw her brother because it further emphasizes just how crazy useless she is. Because now it's a measurement of effort. It's like, okay, because you can try and be something significant. She just isn't.
She also
the scene where he like pops the steel door with his own body is
the reason too, apparently. And it's like, bitch, you cheated on 2 different guys.
I am so glad that she did not have shit to say at Rex's funeral, because I would have flipped my shit if she made it all about herself. I would have been so mad. I saw her in Immortal in the back. I'm like, you two, shut up.
We're sad.
No, I agree with like the criticisms of the teams themselves. They've from the moment that they were all slaughtered, I thought that every makeup, it's felt like the era of like 2015 to 2022 when like every like corporation would put out there like this college brochure of people, like just this group of just like cast that can do it, like a lot of hope and just bad decisions.
I get as a writer, he's trying to write
Justice League is what it was, but like it felt to me like the last team that was offered to Invincible was the first competent one. Like they look solid. They look like they're going in a more positive direction.
Team
more. What
was that? Team?
No. Like the newest, like in the last episode when Cecil offered Invincible like the leadership position, he was like presented with like that group.
Okay,
that was a solid group. I think that's the best group. I add Adam Eve to that, and I think that they're solid contenders for like Earth's defenders.
Dude,
but
here's the thing: like they chose
like
Monster
this team
Girl.
is cucked. Let's just send Invincible to do the whole team's jobs every time. Like the team, Immortal really does suck.
He sucks so bad.
He's so bad.
So does all of them. Right?
He obviously has something to say.
His powers are boring. His powers are the generic grab bag, but he's
worse
with people. Yeah, he's just them, but worse. He sucks.
Battsauce. Before you got here, I did a question for the panel. I said, "What are your top 3 favorite characters?" And I said, "If anyone says Immortal, we're gonna have a problem." So like who are your top 3 favorites of characters?
Favorites?
Because I know you like. I know you hate the show overall. But like, what do you think about like? There's got to be 3 you like.
Does he?
Okay, so I don't hate it. Cecil.
Hold on one second.
What?
1 second. We got a super chat from President of DC Comics, Jim Lee, who says, "I'm having intercourse with Phenomena's wife."
That's why DC Comics has been so dog shit lately. Motherfuckers busy out here fucking some other people's wives.
Well, yeah, fucking
in the lab. That's crazy.
Yeah, I really like Cecil. I like his partner, Freaking
Donald.
Donald.
Bobby Hill, all grown
Bobby
up.
Hill.
Oh yeah, great.
And I'm sure I have a third favorite somewhere. I don't know. It's just the characters. A lot of the characters showing up, I kind of just all right. I don't like because okay, so like Monster Girl, right? I mean, like she won out in the tryouts against like some other super strong person that was a gorilla, and it's like okay, cool, she's stronger, but she also has like a disability where like she can't use her powers because it's gonna like makes her keep thinking younger. Like, it doesn't happen to the strong gorilla guy. And I'm like, also the strong gorilla guy, I'm sure is a whole lot more useful than fucking Duplicate. Shrinking Ray, useless. Like she doesn't do anything.
We all know how Duplicate got on the team. We all know how she got herself on that team.
She slept with the top.
Come on,
Menage 50.
She just so happened to fuck the leader of every team she's been on. Like crazy work. Like no, that's
crazy work.
Crazy work. Efficiency.
Wait, she hasn't
it's
robot
easy
yet.
when you can be in more than one place at once, I guess.
Also, I love how she can allegedly feel the orgasm of her clones, but she doesn't feel the pain.
Oh,
what?
Ew.
Yeah, no. That's
remember,
the other thing.
remember season one. She's getting her back blown out by Rex in the showers, but she walks out of the showers as a clone to try and distract Eve, and that clone starts like getting all frisky and giddy because Rex is clapping her cheeks in the shower.
They don't feel the pain though. I thought they felt the pain as well.
Apparently they don't.
Well,
because
that's
when one of them
gets
gets like splattered on the wall, the other clones don't react at all, and then we're supposed to believe that one of them is just sort of kicking back, playing video games and eating ice cream in a cabin in the woods somewhere.
I feel like it's a situation where like he feels pain every time he pops his claws. It's just like at this point he's just so used to it that kind of like Hayden Panettiere.
No, because no. So the writing in the show shows otherwise because sometimes she goes unconscious when one of them dies, but sometimes it has no effect. It's like the same thing with like the paper skin I was talking about. They pick and choose depending on what they need for the story, and that's where I'm like, this is lazy.
I mean, to be fair, stories. I can't think of a single comic story that doesn't do that.
You know what?
But,
as many problems
but there's obviously
as
levels with it, with everything, right? So,
as many problems as we have with Duplicate, at least there's never a scene where they walk in on a chain of her eating her own ass, like in The Boys.
Yeah. Also, but
what? And that happens?
And
in The Boys, yes.
I'd rather spend 1,000 years with Kate than an afternoon with Amber. On God.
Well, of course, she would actually,
because like at least Kate would lie to me to make me feel happy. Amber would just demoralize me. She would just tell Kate,
hey, I'm a leader of a superhero team. You want in?
That's why I'd want Duplicate.
Can I come in?
Yeah, exactly.
Quick question. Chloe says, here's a joke for you. What does Adam, Eve, and Sundowner have in common?
They're fucking invincible.
What's Sundowner?
No one else here has played Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance?
Should I have?
Okay, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Okay. No, there's a boss in Metal Gear Rising Revengeance called Sundowner, and when you beat him up enough in phase 2 of his boss fight, he puts both his blades in one hand and screams, "I'm fucking invincible." So she's saying Adam, Eve, and Sundowner they're both fucking. All right, so
she's gonna be a fan of you. She's gonna be a
fan
fan of you.
That's an incredible.
She's a gamer. That is an incredible.
That's good fucking job. That's great.
Yeah, I have never played Metal Gear Solid.
You can play you can play Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance without knowing anything about the other games.
No, but it was made by a different team. The reference.
Okay.
Even though I couldn't relate to it, I want to commend your ability to recall it. That would have sucked if no one on panel, like you weren't here and like we were just like, what?
It's Crispin Freeman. It's Crispin Freeman too. So it's great voice acting.
I love the first thing when I type it in, it goes Sundowner syndrome.
Okay, so are we ready to does anyone I have a question. What do people think about the art style? The animation is dodgy. We all agree on that. What do we think about the art style? I personally think it's not the best. I think by the time you get to volumes 3, well, not volume. I don't know how many issues are per Ultimate Collection. By the time you get to Collection 3,
issue 8 is where they changed artists, and the art got tremendously better.
Yeah, I was like, I remember I was reading it.
He got better as the series went on. It's issue 8.
Yeah,
Is
no,
what
I know. What I'm
seven's the
saying
last one, then they switch over to the new one.
because I remember getting 8, and I'm like, oh, this looks good. And then I think about it, I'm like, wait a minute. Oh yeah, the art has been good for a while. When did it? Okay, yeah.
Either way, my point is, the art in the comic, even at its earliest, still is like very impactful and expressive and detailed. And so when you see these characters getting introduced with like their neutered ass designs, like I am so sorry, even as the cyborg, Angstrom Levy in the show is meme worthy in his like Netflix adaptation ass looking character design. Like I'm sorry, it is painful. If you look at here, hold on. Let me.
I feel like a good comparison would be like the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, like the
literally
2000s cartoon compared
or
to like
Justice League Unlimited
compared to like the Avengers Assembled, like the way that like the original Avengers cartoon was a lot more like stylistic and its approach was more fun, but like
and it was better writing.
Avengers Assembled, much better. I think it's the best adaptation.
Vaughn, I'm gonna DM you the image of Conquest descending like he does in the show, but it's gonna be the comic version. And I want you to show it on stream.
Yeah.
Just to show a staunch art style difference. I'll DM you a couple.
Yeah, but
it's on Discord. These are a couple different images to show the like night and day. Yeah. It is night and day.
Similar to the Avengers Assembled 2016. That shit was ass. It was just stale Young Justice type when it could have been beautiful.
The comic art it reminded me of two specific comics. One called Chew. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that comic.
I've heard of it. I haven't read it, but I've seen some images.
It's fucking fantastic. It's so ridiculously weird. It's awesome. And the other comic it reminds me of is Fables.
So that is when Conquest does the stand ready for my arrival worm scene. You see the gleam on his armor. You see the detail on his gauntlet. You see the emphasis on his muscles. Well, here's the thing. You see countless animated series over the years doing that. The upcoming DMC Devil May Cry TV show from Netflix, I don't know if the writing's going to be any good, but I know I'm enthralled by the animation in the trailer. It's already better than Invincible, and it's not even out yet as its full season. So I'm watching... Is it
in Japan or is it in America?
It's made by Americans. It's either Americans or the French. Human
work hours.
One of the other ways. So yeah, if you go over to the one where they're charging at each other to clash.
Yeah, hold on. But yeah, I mean, I would like the Batman Hush animated movie. I was like,
yeah, like
but it tells that you can't do Jim Lee, but it still wasn't that great.
But you want to talk about an artistic downgrade DC movie? Batman: The Doom That Came to Gotham was so.
What is that?
It's a comic made by the writer of Hellboy.
Mike Mignola.
Is it not the Gotham guy? That's cool.
No. It's Mike Mignola. He made like a Lovecraft versus Batman story.
Oh.
And at the end of the book, Bruce Wayne becomes a giant bat demon to fight Cthulhu. It's really cool. It's really cool. The animated version, it's just like the Hush movie. All the art and character is just sucked out of the product. It's the same story. They adapt it faithfully. It's just bad art style.
No, I had no idea that story existed. That sounds awesome.
I guess growing up with the 80s, with 80s animation, I like everything to me looks good because my basis is that shit, 60s, 70s, 80s stuff. So, like again, this brings me back to what I said earlier. I don't give a shit if it looks like fucking polygons. If the story and gameplay or story draws me in, I can change it in my mind what's on the page.
I was born and raised in the worst era, Darnell, because I saw the peak. My Saturday morning was Ben 10, Generator Rex, and the Thundercats reboot.
Yeah, I haven't watched those. Actually, I gotta confess, because I grew up. I'm the same age as you. I watched a little bit of Ben 10. Never watched Generator X. Never watched Thundercats.
My point is that's the animation standard that has been ingrained in my brain since childhood.
Y'all are spoiled.
I'm not
meaning in a bad way. Y'all are spoiled.
And then even then, if you want to dial it back even slightly, my alternative was the Bruce Timm DC universe, which is still better than Invincible. Because guess what? They dial back the art style enough for fluid animation, yet somehow it doesn't have PNG moments. And something tells me if we dig deep enough, it has a fraction of Invincible's budget. Somehow.
That was all done by hand. Not like looking around. All these shit's done with computers. Back then, you did animated thousands upon thousands of cells. That's why.
Again,
but
again,
also,
it's almost like we used to
didn't-
hire talent.
I know.
Earlier, someone brought up the fact that although like the Invincible budget is huge, like the animation team is like a tenth the size. So it's like
So where the
if
fuck is
we're
the money
talking about,
going?
like
actors and music.
Money
Seth
laundering.
Rogen.
So I mean, if we're talking about just animation quality, I don't think that it's fair to say like, oh, like it has a smaller budget and better animation when we know that the huge budget isn't going to animation and like it has that 1/10 size. I think it's easy to like to lose appreciation for what is when we judge a thing for what it's not. We look for like how things should be, and that it takes away from it, and like given earlier, like you said that 1/10 animation team size, they're putting out fucking miracles like that. That's
So we're
insane.
clear, I'm not shitting on them. I'm shitting on Amazon. It's all my beef is with Bezos. Not the people busting they ass to try and give us peak, which let's face it, they did in the last 2 episodes as far as animation goes.
Yeah,
as far as animation goes, the last 2 episodes were great.
Can I be real with you? Because we're talking about the season. I think the last episode was very strong. I was watching Invincible with my friend. Everyone was talking about how it's the best thing ever. I thought it was fucking stupid. I gotta be real with you. That was a fucking dumb episode. Like, all right, so no, the second to last one. It happened so fast. And it's like, what was the one day? Day 1, day 2. So what do they sleep? What the fuck is happening? It was almost like I have ADHD, right? I have very bad ADHD. It felt like a very ADHD episode. It's like, let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens here. See what happens. Like nothing gets developed. Shit happens. Oh, we cut to like mid-fight. Someone's already bleeding out. Like Rexplode is already bleeding out when we show up. We don't see him get the wound. We don't see how we got to that point. We don't see them crash in. Why did we not focus on that more?
I think that's kind of the point, though. The fact that it's like sudden and shocking, like that. That is the
fact value.
Vaughn,
that is like it's like when war like breaks out. This is how it is. Suddenly dead bodies. Suddenly chaos. Suddenly fire.
You're right.
Suddenly
That's my point. They're trying to simulate that it's a war. It is a war. Vaughn, if you watch like
it was over so
a war, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. It's like any other war. If you switch perspectives, the other part of the battlefield doesn't pause, which I get Battsauce is probably going to say, so why isn't the rest of the show like that? But my point is they're trying to make the arc a war.
If you were to say that.
But at the end of the day, again, it's better executed in the comic. Because in the comic,
the plan, like
you can explain it to me.
Execute, like it was just very unclear, like what their actual intended goal was, and like the thing is, I don't give a fuck enough to like wait to find out what Angstrom like Levy's the whole plan is. Like, why if he was putting them in strategic locations to accomplish specific things, I don't care. I would probably care about him if they revealed that in that episode that like he had some kind of like master plan. But to me, it just looked like he pulled up and had them destroy random cities, destroy shit. That was weird. But I thought that it was very solid up in that.
The Invincibles like die off screen. It's a war.
Yeah.
This one guy got lasered in space by a character we've never seen in my life, and I'm supposed to be like, it's a high stakes war.
Yeah, like that, and that was.
Are you fucking kidding?
That was the most power. Like I'm pretty sure it was one of the strongest ones, and he got soloed. Got soloed by that dude in that suit. I hope we dive more into that. Yeah,
it was like
we're not. There's only 8 episodes per season. We're not going to get into that.
But it was
like even in the comics, they don't get more into that character.
Like that.
Which one? Remind me. I'm sorry, I sent a text. What were we talking?
The guy in the suit. The one in the suit that lasers the Invincible in space.
Oh, Tech Jacket. Yeah, we get a little more. We get a little more on him.
He actually has his own miniseries too.
He has a miniseries by Robert Kirkman. That's why he's here at all. And B, no spoilers in particular, but someone literally goes, "Hey, that guy." There's an event. The event's happening, and they're like, "We need heroes." And one guy was like, "Hey, this guy took out some Invincibles. He's pretty cool. Yeah. We should go hire him." And then they're like, "Oh, which guy?" He's like, "Tech Jacket." And that's it.
Yeah.
To me, it was just a mess, and also just like a terrible time to try to kill off Rexplode. I don't know. Like I said, the power scaling with the Invincibles was insane. Like you had an Invincible that had killed his own father there, and he's still struggling against fucking like Monster Girl or something. Like this is
Yeah,
just silly.
I'm
It's
trying-
silly.
I'm
It's
trying.
stupid.
I'm trying to like figure out some kind of argument, but like it's just facts. Like there are too many situations where like the same punch that just tore through like a mountain is just being blocked. Like
look, this is why
there's
Dragon Ball Z
I'll play devil's
levels
advocate.
of Super Saiyan. It's to have obvious, like recognizable levels of power scaling.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. It's the multiverse. There's not all gonna be the same level of strength. For example, the one who dies at the Pentagon, he's wearing flaxen armor, which implies that instead of Nolan going to the flaxen verse in the first season, he did instead, but he never made it back. So he never had any training. He never got stronger. He assimilated to their culture and wore their armor. So when Extreme Levy went
universes where the Invincible was significantly weaker.
in that one particular instance, yes, that guy.
Also, I just have to watch YouTube videos to explain the shit that fucking happened in the goddamn episode.
No girl, Mark. That was kind of interesting.
That was sexist.
He's always a guy. Like, never
I mean, hey, there was one of them who liked taking it up the butt. So
that doesn't make it a woman.
No. He literally says, "I miss William."
Well, I mean,
No. The writer confirmed off show that means him and William were
incredible.
Were gay.
Incredible.
Well, maybe he's a pirate.
Now does that explain the fucking plot problems?
No, I'm just saying.
Speaking of
Williams, he's on a whole different level, power scale level in his universe. You don't even know.
No, William is phenomenal because
he's Phenomenova. What?
He's the weak ass twink ass human, but he's still able to kick everyone's ass in bowling.
He's the most powerful because he's able to make Bart bite the pillow.
God.
How you know what's going on?
Whose best friend is that gay? I'm like, for real.
That was it. Yeah, in the comics, is he gay? Because I've been.
Yes.
But it's a later reveal, right?
Yeah.
No,
he's not
it's quick. It's quick.
Because I'm 30-something issues in, and he's has not been revealed yet.
I feel like on like the levels of gay, he's like pretty like moderately gay. I don't know if
I don't think he was that. I don't think he was that like flamboyant in the comics.
He's a bit fruitier in the show.
Yeah.
I'm from like a very I guess I'm from a very left state because I mean that like I've seen like that's conservative fruity to me. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that's.
Oh, dude, I'm from California. I'm aware of how weird it gets.
Yeah, it's God, California.
It's whatever. It's
I
live in Tennessee.
No,
now.
it's not a big. Yeah, I don't mind. Like I enjoy William in the show. I think he's fine.
Yeah, I think
he's okay. I'm not saying.
I just can't get over the whole like you're my best friend. As my best friend, William. You're gonna sit there and like take Amber's side. Crazy, you crazy. Absolutely nuts.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else here has seen it. There's a video out there of Robert Kirkman reacting to the Invincible Season 1 Honest trailer. And when the Honest trailer takes a shot at Amber, he kind of like passive aggressively addresses it. He says something to the effect of like, yeah, we changed her a little bit. I don't know. Maybe that was a mistake. And then they move on. So like, I think deep down, he's like, yeah, we fucked her up, but he can't admit it for obvious reasons.
No. The problem is that
she was different in season 2. Okay. Like Amber added.
Yeah, she's literally got body swap between seasons. I'm like, she's not even the same person.
Mm-hmm. Sad.
My brother. Ever since I told him that the comic has the cut subplot I told you guys about, Battsauce. Have you read the comics? I forgot.
No. What's up?
In the subplot, Amber's second boyfriend, Chris Browns her, and then Invincible goes and threatens him and stuff. It's like a power move arc, I guess. Either way, they cut that from the show because they made this Amber a girl boss. They're not going to have her be this feminist girl boss and then have her get the shit punched out of her. But my brother, ever since I told him about that, he keeps joking that every time it shows them on screen, he'll just elbow me and go, and then he starts beating her up. And then he starts like during the Invincible War episode when she's watching the news and seeing everybody dying. My brother just leans over and goes, imagine he just punches her in the face right now.
Why?
So
Why is he doing this?
No.
I have heard of Markiplier before he like popped up. I mean, does he do anything later? He kind of was like a nothing burger.
Who?
In this season. Markiplier?
Markiplier
Or
Multi-Paul.
Sorry.
Multi-Paul.
Markiplier.
Markiplier. It's a different.
Man, don't say anything.
Okay, so that episode too, just like that was the most stupid crime boss I've ever met. The Asian dragon one.
Yeah,
and I'm like, you're not gonna like maybe look to see if he's dead. You want to take a little peeksy, and then like you're super vulnerable, like out there. And I'm like, you don't want to make sure you're a little safer. You have one guy that you're sure is your guy, and then then he gets backstabbed. And it's like, well, yep, that's what happens.
You know, on that note, right? Just there's a lot of like little small like plot things like that where I think like, okay, an obvious thing here would make the biggest difference. Okay, why? Like, if Mark had projectiles of any kind, like any kind of projectile, like they have the technology. He has he has super strength. Weight is not a problem. Give him a very, very powerful laser gun.
Isaac, what if he just reached out and pulled a brick out of the wall?
That would work as well. It would work. It's just like it's just crazy to me that after suffering so much, just like broken bones, he's like, no, yeah. Straight up solution every time. Throw fucking face at problem. Actual like real life, spoiler alert, just fucking throw face at problem. That's all he does. Just get a gun, dog. Second Amendment. It's your right.
I think we also I want to say we talked about Aaron Paul for a bit. Can I be real? I feel like I'm fucking crazy. I think his performance. They watched a crying scene from Breaking Bad and said, "Can you just do that with literally every
line?"
Oh,
I think his performance, like, and I don't know if I blame him. I think it's the direction. I think he sucked.
Okay. Oh,
he was
awesome.
very terrible.
I did not. I don't like him. I didn't like it. I don't get it. It's like,
I didn't feel that bad for him. Like, what the fuck did you think was gonna happen, dipshit?
Like, well, I don't know if it's just like an Aaron Paul thing, but like I know like for some people, Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny. Like, I get if you think he's annoying as shit. I'm not annoyed by him, but I'm annoyed by him in ways that people are annoyed by Charlie Day. Like
I love Charlie Day.
No, yeah, I love him, but like I don't know, just his voice,
right?
just like Aaron Paul's voice, is grating to me, like. And so when he screams, it's just like I no longer like you, Powerplex. Shut the fuck up.
What? You got a problem with the Pinkman, bitch?
It's like
yeah.
My problem is less with Aaron Paul, because I love Aaron Paul.
Yeah,
my problem
is nice dude too. Yeah.
Like my favorite role from him ever was Nyx something from Final Fantasy 15 Kingsglaive. Great role. He plays like this sci-fi medieval, like he's basically the leader of a sci-fi medieval SWAT team.
Totally
got super dark. Anyways,
sorry.
Anyways, so I know what he's capable of. I know what they were shooting for. But again, it's
Invincible! No! You killed my family!
It's
that for like 2 hours.
Based FF15 King.
Chloe is my resident gamer girl.
I'm not a huge fan of Aaron Paul, but I liked him in this role. What I didn't like about the character was I am so fucking over the guy who becomes a villain because he watched
he's the biggest hater villain
because the superhero was saving everyone's ass.
Yeah,
and there was some collateral damage. It's horrible, but that I've been seeing that trope since the fucking 80s in the pages, and I fucking hate it.
It's because those characters.
Well, it's not even that. It's like not even a well executed one. Like,
it opened up like Batman v Superman.
Yeah,
Bruce Wayne saw Superman and fighting, and they killed everybody. Like, oh shit! I'm like, are you serious?
Powerplex was just the dude with no legs.
Like, yeah, I would be pissed off, but I'm sad at the same time.
Except it's no arms.
Yep.
Wait, I don't confused. That woman was his sister.
Yeah.
Yes.
His
sister and his niece.
All right,
so it wasn't even his kid. That's
here, but no. But my like, because he was white, and the sister was not. So who were the parents?
Well,
mixed.
Does it matter, racist?
No,
Maybe.
I'm just,
No,
just
no,
confused.
no, yeah. They was biracial. Like his sister
Yeah.
was white, but it's
But he was like, wasn't he ginger?
It's like
There's a
it's like
purple child on
the
this
Phoenix
show.
Century and
Hey, it's like the dad from
Nova.
it's like the dad from
No, it's
Shameless.
not
He's
at
got a
all.
magic dick. Don't question it. Don't question it.
Power. Oh wait, look at Powerplex as a product. Yeah, I mean, oh no, okay.
It's sundowning syndrome all over again.
But yeah, I do need to watch Daredevil Born Again. I know Shine. I know.
Oh
I
shit,
will.
Shine. No, actually, he just hit me up.
Oh,
about
you guys
watching
know
Daredevil.
each other?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're on TikTok, boys. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I found,
No,
all right, so I
yeah,
found two
I,
of you guys from
Shine-
TikTok.
Shine, I lied. Actually, I was like, I'm about to watch Daredevil, but no, yeah, I'm on this, and I'm gonna watch Daredevil after this.
Yeah, I'll have to watch Daredevil.
Yep.
I have
Yeah,
I'm
then
watching
I gotta watch the
episode
newest
3 on
episode.
Sunday.
I
I'm
don't
watching
have
episode
Disney
3 on
Plus,
Sunday
though.
with my brother
I initially
because I saw the
hated
last
it.
2 last week.
I hated
You don't
it.
have Disney
and
Plus at the moment, but
I
maybe
still-
for this I might get it.
I still don't. I'm still not on board with it. But the rumor that Eldon Henson has been signed on for season 2, and I know
Who?
Eldon Henson, Foggy,
Oh,
and
I never remember his name.
I know
I'm
the
sorry.
storyline they're pulling from. Well, one of the storylines they're pulling from for this show, it's giving me some hope. I just hope they don't go down the hole I think they're going down with that show.
You think they'll
All
go
I'm gonna
supernatural with
say.
it?
All
You
I'm
think what?
gonna say.
You think they'll go supernatural with it?
What does that mean?
Like
Probably.
that
Well,
they'll dive into like Daredevil's more like,
supernatural than-
leaning stories.
yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if they're gonna go that far because
Mhm.
I don't think Disney wants to get into that
Like
realm.
demon
with-
possession type
with,
stuff.
with the street level heroes. The
Yeah,
cosmic ones
yeah.
probably, yeah.
Word.
my problem with it is it's yet another instance of Disney. It's Disney's cowardice, which is kind of validated. Like there's so many issues with the new Daredevil that are a result of the years of buildup. Like
I can tell you the biggest problem. You can definitely tell what was filmed before they.
There wasn't there like
scrapped it,
crazy
and
reshoots.
you can tell. You could tell what's a reshoot, what's not a reshoot. You can definitely tell.
you can tell, yeah.
Absolutely,
Like
absolutely.
anything with I'm just gonna say Black Foggy and Black Karen. Anything
Yeah.
you can tell with those two.
I
that
have
was
all right.
clearly
This is
old.
Invincible. I have not seen the show.
No, I'm
I
just
cannot-
saying there's a
It's a
character who's a black
spoiler.
stand-in for
Yeah,
Foggy and a black
really.
stand-in
It's
for
the
Karen.
beginning. First episode is the beginning. You
Yeah.
don't know who
It's
he's
the-
talking
there's
about.
a black stand.
No
there's
real
a black
spoilers.
stand-in for Foggy and a black stand-in for Karen, and that's very clearly from the old draft of the show.
Yeah.
Wait,
The show
so
was,
what happened
like-
to the other ones?
Well,
They're still there. I'm just saying there's another pair that he acts as a trio with. You see both trios in the same episode, so you
Yeah.
can. It's very messy
The
writing.
first episode, yeah.
But at the end of the day, whether Disney is good or was doing good or doing bad in the MCU is kind of irrelevant because either way, their cowardice is still a factor in all of their movies. They shove so many damn comic references in. I'm not going to spoil, but a big plot point happens at the beginning of the first episode, and I already know it's meaningless because of an Easter egg they stuck in the damn episode that they needed to stick there because they needed to give you the feeling
Jesus.
of, oh my god, I read comics and I know what that means. Oh my god, Disney, I'm so close. Put another one in there for me, Daddy.
I mean,
Disney, please.
God,
But
Right?
apparently, it's doing worse than the Acolyte and other.
No, apparently it's doing worse than Agatha.
Yeah.
Oh, Agatha.
Apparently
yeah,
it's
yeah,
tracking worse than
Daredevil?
Agatha.
I thought
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought Agatha was good, and I'll stand on that. I thought Agatha was good, even. I know.
Meet me in the parking
Good.
lot. We're
I
fighting in
know.
the mud. We're fighting in the
I
mud.
thought
It's
it was
conquest
good.
battle all over again.
I don't know
Oh,
shit
good
about that
lord.
show except for the fact that they did Kitty Foreman dirty, and you don't do Kitty Foreman dirty.
But
Katie Foreman was a highlight, and honestly, when as soon as she died, I was like, I told my homie
Spoilers
the
for the show I'm never gonna watch.
Yeah, that's why. I told her, I literally looked over to him and I said, like, because she's gone, there will be a significant drop in quality. Like, there is. She's great.
Kitty Foreman.
But,
what is she has been in what?
Kitty Foreman, she's the
That's
mom
a
from That
show.
70s Show.
Kitty
I
Foreman.
never watched that 70s show.
Vaughn's like 5 years old. He doesn't watch
Fuck
shit.
you. I'm 25.
Christ, man.
Anyways, and then on top of that, Feige also needlessly cluttered his continuity yet again.
Yep.
All right,
One of
cool. Can we talk about Invincible?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You provoke my brain and I start
All right.
speaking.
Just blame me.
All right, I actually
What
I
episodes
do.
haven't we covered?
The blue suit has kind of grown on me. Honestly,
The blue suit is
I don't know
better
about
looking than the yellow suit.
I like the
Hot
black and
take.
blue, yeah.
Hot
it grew on me. I think it's going to be a similar situation to the like when they switch because I'm reading Claremont's run, when they switch from the yellow Wolverine costume to the brown and tan, I'm like, whatever. And then now I'm like, I actually really like
The brown and tan costume is the best Wolverine
Yeah,
costume.
I'm
Now stand and die on that hill.
Yeah, you know
The
what? It
best
took me a
Wolverine
lot of
Wolverine.
work.
You know
one,
what?
right?
You know what's top 3 as well? Yeah, I won't go crazy and say top 3. What's top 5 is the X-Men Evolution cartoon Wolverine suit. That shit is
Well, it's based
simple.
on that.
It's simple and
Yeah.
gas. I don't care. Orange.
No,
I
you know what?
say-
It's funny
can I
is
say
I was kind of
something
not a
else-
fan of it
something?
because like it just abruptly changes costumes and you're supposed to get used to it. And by the end of the 80s, like because I've read throughout all the 80s pretty much, he has the brown and tan. And then I'm kind of like, I think it might be the better costume, at least for the character.
Nice.
I think it might be. I think it's a better fit for the character. I love the yellow, but I think the brown
Yeah, I
and tan
agree.
may
It
be a
just makes
better
more
fit.
sense.
Now, for Invincible, I do like the blue, but yellow.
Vaughn.
There's still
No,
something
but-
missing off of his costume. I don't know,
Vaughn,
it's
are
just-
Yeah.
Are you reading anything new from Marvel right now?
I'm
All new
reading
Marvel.
the Magic. I haven't read Magic 2,
All
but I
new,
have
all different.
I'm reading the new Ultimate Marvel comics.
Yeah.
Some of them are
I've
good.
heard some of them are good.
One that is stand out is Ultimate Wolverine.
Mm.
And it has I'm not even going to get into it, but I will say this. It has my favorite new costume for a superhero in a long time. I'm not saying it's better than the other ones we just mentioned, but Ultimate Wolverine's costume is pretty fire.
Mhm.
If you just look it up right now on your phone, just look up Ultimate Wolverine 2025 and look at that costume.
I really, really hope that the Ultimate Wolverine storyline ties back into the X-Men or the Ultimate X-Men story. Because I'm open-minded, but I'm not a huge fan of the Ultimate X-Men so far and what they've done with it.
I haven't been reading.
Guys, can we talk
Yeah.
about Invincible?
How organic conversations happen. They shift, they move. Presenting the questions.
Oh yeah, he's that fan. Jim Lee is not a fan of that design.
I don't give a shit what the guy fucking Phenomenovas wife has to say about Marvel. I don't care.
The former artist of Wolverine.
The former artist
Yeah,
of
so
Wolverine.
back to wait, who dropped? Oh, Isak, he'll be back. Patrick Star.
Yeah, that's not great. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm looking at this design.
Patrick
I think
Star
it kind of
Wolverine.
sucks. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, it's with the
think
red
I
star.
think it's okay.
I think it's kinda
Because he's literally a weapon of Russia. That's why
cringe.
the Russian commie syndicate kidnapped him. That's why he's red.
Not a fan of communism. Personally.
We're not pro-communism over here.
Hey, guess what? Shocker. The comic has the communists as evil. Shocker.
No,
I know, right? Crazy.
No, but so anyway, back to
Oh, Isaac's gone.
Back to Phenomenova.
yeah. Hopefully he'll be back.
It might have been StreamYard or something.
Disregard the pirate guy now. But so okay, so wait, with the first episode, so I gotta be honest, like Doc Seismic, I do like. It's kind of poking fun at like certain like ultra woke stuff, but I also think he's fucking boring. I don't really care about Doc Seismic.
Well, he's another one that was done. To,
also they brought all the Earth's heroes together for the first episode. I just thought about this during the thing. But then there's a million other Earth's heroes in the last episode. So why the fuck did Cecil send them?
because they were.
Why do you have to send the breathing?
There's tiers,
But
for
it's
each
not
hero.
established.
It kind of is in the comics.
Oh,
kind
the
of is.
comics.
It kind of
Oh,
is.
that's so funny because I was
that,
watching
like-
a television program.
I know.
Yeah, no,
Kind of is.
again, you're gonna probably guess what my issue with it is the power scaling. So now we have plenty of things that are stronger than Invincible. Like
And-
apparently there's centipedes that we
Well-
could have used to help defend the Earth. I mean, figure that out.
What
And then also like the zombie things were plenty help against the centipedes, but then later they're useless. It's just like
Yeah.
what,
I mean,
what is it? What
that's
is it? Are they
It's
useful or
not too
not?
bad. In the first season, the they're first off, they're called Reanimen, such a fire name. And they're cool. I like the idea that it's like if Nick Fury had a bunch of zombified Chitauri protecting him as bodyguards. That's the equivalent of what the Reanimen are. The Reanimen are shown in season 1 slapping the shit out of Nolan, but Nolan shows that with enough force you can break them. So it makes sense that they can beat something in theory weaker than a Viltrumite. I watched a video recently that broke down the power scaling in Invincible fairly easily. Mark Grayson's heart is his weakness. I feel like we touched on this slightly earlier. If he goes in guns blazing, everything dies, but he almost never does, which is why he gets like dog walked and dick slapped everywhere he goes. Because he doesn't have the heart to go in guns blazing, which is why Conquest spends the first half of the finale absolutely dragging this man's face through the concrete.
Yeah, because my brothers, they just started watching season 3 earlier today, and it's like, man, Mark getting fucked up. Like, when he's going to actually do something, he getting his ass tossed.
in the indie comic I'm writing, the main character gets fucked up a lot, but it's because he's literally the one guy without powers in a world full of people with powers. Cool. But hey, guess what? Unlike other pieces of media that do that trope, I'm actually going to stick to it till the end of the story. He's not gonna get magic hair shoved down his throat at the end of arc 1. Don't worry.
Yeah. I kind of lost interest.
So the time travel plot line that happened this season, right? Where like
that was a fucking stupid, boring episode.
It was so stupid.
the
Immortal, the guy who gets killed by everyone.
He is the fucking worst character.
I'm sorry, he went crazy. He's been alive for like 10,000 years already.
But this last 70 years really pushed him.
Yeah.
What? Also, bro has been a petty jackass for like 1,000 years, but now he's too proud to kill himself.
And once again, he is literally just dispatched with such ease. His power set, like they didn't even give him an interesting power. You know, like there are characters like Shrinking Ray is okay. She's nowhere near as powerful, but she has her own ways to use her things. Invincible, Immortal is literally just Invincible, but shittier.
I told you, Vandal Savage, but less interestingly written and a good guy. Yeah. He's good, but sucks Vandal Savage.
Well, you're right. Like, I didn't even think about that when I was watching the episodes. Like, wait a minute. So why is this last 7? So it's like, okay, so I guess by his biology is he's fine for the first couple thousand years, but then in the span of 70 years, he loses his shit. Like, what happened?
So did you read that?
I guess what happened was really bad.
Did you read the comics version?
No, I'm not there yet.
Okay, I'm not going to spoil it. I just think.
Do they justify it better?
Yeah.
They do.
Well, this is the thing. A lot of these issues that I'm seeing, though, is that they will justify things, but like the justification doesn't really meet the level required. It's like, you tried, but you need a better explanation.
Okay, it's
back.
If we have
16 issues per season, they can flesh it out more. But you're trying to cram everything into 8 episodes. That's
when you get to the comic version of the Old Immortal arc. Let me know, because the dialogue between him and Mark is so much different in the comic.
The dialogue, I will say, in the Invincible comics, I really like the dialogue.
I don't know why they change it so much. Conquest's monologue when he floats down to Earth in the comic is so much more epic. Like, what is Darnell? What does he say? He says something to the effect of like, "Do you know what my name is? Conquest, and they call me this because there is not a planet I have failed to assimilate or something." Yeah. And I'm like, he's just like, "I am Conquest, and I am your last chance to shut up, bro. Who are you?"
Like, you get goosebumps hearing that this just unstoppable thing is coming, and he's here, and you can't.
And also the design in the comics with the art style and the impact frame of him just sitting there, establishing dominance by just going.
Viltrumites in general are pretty retarded, though. Like as a race, like they're like, all right, we don't have enough of us.
They're like Saiyans, but more stupid.
Right? They're like, we don't have many of us. What if we have our population? And then, like.
It's like,
no,
how
but
do we even
remember,
tell when we
I'm
get
not-
to the halfway point?
I'm
Like,
not
we're
going to
just
say
gonna
how because the show
guess?
hasn't yet. But remember, season 3 confirms that that's a lie. There's actually only 50 of them, so they're
Well,
even
yeah, there's
worse
less
off.
than they thought, which brings into question why they have their population ever.
No. The show has not explained it. All they let be public knowledge was that they fought and in a civil war to
So they
cull the
let
weak.
everyone think that they're retarded.
No. They fought in a civil war to cull the
Yeah.
weak. So
Right.
half of a planet's population existed, right? And they were letting the universe think that that's 4.1 billion strong fighters, right? But then something else happened, and now there's only 50.
But like everyone knows that they're spread out too thin, and that they have a population issue.
But they
So
don't.
you let
though.
everyone know
They
that
don't
your
though.
people's
They
his-
don't though. Battsauce. Remember, the idea that a Viltrumite shows up on your world is a death sentence. Therefore, whether there's 5 billion or 50, it doesn't matter. If one shows up, you're cooked. So it doesn't matter. That's why people knowing whether or not there's 50 means the universe has a chance.
Well, I guess I don't know. Maybe they just explained the comics, but it's like, okay, so why are they not populating more? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, why is that?
Are they like pandas? Can they not?
No. There's a good one. I'll give you that. Good one. But there is a reason explained later. It's explained already. You remember in season 2 when Lucan and is it Thena, who's the gray-haired one with the knife in her hair? Whatever.
Yeah.
When those two show up, remember why they want to take Nolan? They said, "You bred with a disgusting inferior race. We're going to execute you now."
Yeah.
But they're allowed to like breed with some races.
If you can't breed with someone who is going to give strong offspring to strengthen the Viltrumite race, don't keep your dick in
So why
your
don't they
pants.
fuck each other though? Like fuck each other, right?
I don't remember correctly. I could be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure a lot of them are siblings, so that might not go well for them.
What?
So,
I mean, Alabama.
All right, whatever.
It gets elaborated. I swear, there's more.
All right.
I'm not gonna. You remember Thetis, the old guy? There's more people like him who have stories to tell that we will meet later.
Thetis is cool.
We might.
The prison break stuff was pretty cool. I like that. The stuff with Alan the alien. I think. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, okay. Can we talk about? I did this short, and TikTokers and Instagrammers got very upset with me. My incredibly base take on Invincible relationship dialogue. Every fucking time a guy asks a woman out, they're like, "Oh, I mean, if you're interested, I mean, and the girl goes, yeah, I'd like that." And it's like, oh,
yeah, which
God.
never happens.
And it happens. No, but it's thing. If it happened once or twice, it's fine.
No, in real life, yeah.
Every single fucking time. And I was binge watching seasons 2 and 3 together, and it was like when he does it with Adam Eve, when the fucking real estate agent asks the mom out, that happens. When Rexplode asks Shrinking Ray out, it happens. Every and it's
about neutering masculinity.
It's about neutering. I mean, if you want to, I mean, not really. Yeah, okay. And it's
the virgin versus the Chad.
Adam Eve and him have like almost died together multiple times. They're very good friends. He knows that she loves him. It is the easiest layup ever, and he's like, it's like, all right.
Don't forget he does the one thing that everybody tells him not to. He tells her about the future her when literally the entire fucking planet is telling him not to, and he goes, "Oh, by the way, I'm totes doing this because an old haggy future you told me that you love me, so yeah."
Well, hang on. I don't even mind that so much as I think her reaction was a bit over, but it's also why was this like that awkward delivery? Here's the thing. I don't mind the awkward delivery if it felt because people go, "That's Mark's character." I'm like, I think it felt. I don't buy that he was awkward there. I don't see why he would have been awkward there given the circumstances. I actually think it would have made sense for him to be, yeah, we're laid back, life's going good. Why not ask? I don't buy I could buy his awkwardness in certain scenarios, but in this one,
and they just saved every superhero. No, wait, that was right before they went to the Doc Seismic stuff.
And he didn't need to tell her because he he was into her to begin with. All I had to do was say, "Hey, I'm into you. You want to go out?"
Well, I don't mind that he told her because I was like, that's an honest thing to do. Like, okay, maybe I'm retarded, but I probably would have done that
4
too.
dates in.
I probably would have done it.
4 months.
But I'm also retarded.
We don't have time travel, but like, you know, if my future self was like, "Hey, dude, you need to do this," I'd be like, "Okay, I guess." Well, you know, if anyone knows, right? I mean, it's not gonna be like, "Oh, like I don't know." This is gonna screw things.
By the way, I love how in season 2 when the robot opens up and she calls it Rex, everyone thought, "Oh no, what happened to Rudy?" And you could tell online who hasn't read the comics because everyone thought that was literally Rexplode in the robot.
Well,
and
I didn't get
like,
it, and then I was reading the comics,
why?
and when that happens, and he called himself Rex in the finale, because I remember reading the comics, and when they say
No,
Rex,
Chloe M. It's even worse. It's written by a man who's married with children.
Yep.
No, but I remember the what was I gonna say? Rex Rudy, right? When I was reading the comics, I was like, that's weird that he calls him Rex. In the suit, and then when it got to the finale, I was like, oh, I get it now. But I was confused by that. But did they say Rex in the show too? I forget.
If the future survivor robot.
Okay, so they
Adam
did, because
Eve
I
and the
just
other
got to that
people.
part in the comics, and I had forgotten about season 2. Okay, he does do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I
So,
mean, but
question.
overall, go ahead.
What's good?
I was gonna say, what's the downside for the Viltrumites to run your planet?
They kill you.
They are very
You know, they
elitist and
said,
slaughter
like,
on a whim. They are very elitist and slaughter on a whim. You ever watch? People compare them to Saiyans. I think that's a very bad comparison. I think
like
they're more
warlords.
like Frieza.
So how
They're
many,
more
how
like
many do you think
Frieza.
they'll kill in a day?
The whole
I
planet.
mean, granted,
did you
since we
watch
do
season
know
one?
that they're so spread out, they can't possibly really be the planet.
Did you watch season 1?
Yeah, no, I get
Remember-
that, but that was
remember how
that was
Nolan wiped the Thraxans in like a week?
Yeah, but that was to prove a point. But like, you know, if they're like, "Hey, we're going to protect your planet," because what I see is that they are on a constant daily basis. They have monsters that just randomly show up and start like taking out half their city all the time, and I'm like, well, you kind of need a Viltrumite. Like, so what if he starts murdering some people? Like, I get the number of people murdered might be down from the amount that are murdered from the random monsters. I mean, you got Dr. Seismic.
Dude, you
don't even have a
fucking
hero that can
bootlicker.
defeat him.
You are such a little bootlicker, Battsauce, honestly. Oh, protect
I'm
me,
sorry,
Daddy
he almost
government.
killed
Protect
every
me, Daddy
hero
government.
in one episode with the
Dude.
centipedes.
You simp. They're boot.
You government simp.
You.
I get where he's coming
Oh
from.
no. Yeah, but we don't live in a world where a giant monster literally just pops out of the ocean for no reason and like is a world-crushing monster.
Yes.
It happens every time, all the time. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
you
okay, so
handle
maybe
it.
a Viltrumite
Humanity
wouldn't be that
can
bad.
handle it.
Who can?
And humanity can handle it, man. I mean, people might die in the process, but
Yeah, they just constantly are dying.
I
all
think
the
you just
time.
like I think you just like
Rim.
Anissa's tits, and you want her to stay and babysit you.
Say that. Well, I
You
mean,
didn't
like,
have to. You didn't have to.
giant monster duplicate?
What?
Yeah, duplicate. No, the immortal. The immortal, everyone's favorite character.
The immortal, yeah, that keeps working out so great.
I literally saw this one immortal defender in the comments on Instagram. He's like, "I'm the one immortal defender, and if there are no immortal defenders, I am dead." And I'm like, and someone replied and said, "Why?" And they go, "Because duh, he won the Civil War and freed the slaves."
Yeah, and now, hang on. I have a question. So, did Abraham Lincoln in this world have superpowers?
He's the immortal.
It was the immortal.
He was
Right.
the
So I'm
immortal.
saying, could he fly and have super strength during
I
the
guess.
Civil War?
I guess.
Yeah, it was a vampire killer. Didn't you know that?
Well, that
Yeah,
I've
he
seen
did
that movie. That movie's good. But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, he was.
I mean, like, then why did so many people die during the Civil War?
He suppressed them because superpowers weren't a thing back
But
then.
then, how many people could have died? Like, could he have not? Could have not died? if he had
Hindsight's
just-
2020.
Because Immortal also rides the short bus. He sits right next to Battsauce.
That's his one weakness.
Yeah.
He can't fly himself there. So
Maybe he took him 2,000 years to realize, oh yeah, I can fly.
well, I know. Back to what you said about so he's 10,000 years old, but he's just now going crazy. Think about how evolution has gone and how long eras have lasted. Think 125 years ago, we didn't have cars. Now we have self-driving cars 125 years. And then think of the time before that. How long was it horses and people walking and then buggies?
Wait,
like-
what's the point?
He said the immortal, he's 10,000 years old and he just finally just started going crazy in 70 years. Look how fast the evolution of man is going and getting. And like that could explain why his brain is like so much shit's happening. Oh fuck, like it's all just like this existential crisis now in his brain. And look
He's
how fast
immortal,
things are
though.
going.
His brain doesn't constantly stay healthy.
Not how
That's the
immortality
whole
works.
thing.
Not how immortality works.
Well, yeah, but that's how he works. Like he could, as long as his head can connect to his body again, he lives. Like, yeah, we're not talking about like Lord of the Rings elves, where it's just like they like live forever, but until they get stabbed.
Right.
still
So
think it's
are we
the-
in agreement that the worst characters are Immortal and Duplicate?
Yes.
I like Duplicate's name.
No,
Yeah.
Multi-Paul is way
I
better.
think she's hot, but like there are hotter girls in the show. So
No.
even then she's not really that good.
I don't think any Invincible girl is hot, honestly.
What?
They're all
Adam
mid.
Eve, dude.
So-
Adam Eve could do
Her
unbelievable
costume is
things.
ugly as shit.
So-
I'm
So
sorry.
I love Adam Eve's costume.
Chloe
Okay.
kind of
I
I
will
like
say
the Iron Man armor
she
she
had
put
a
on
little
this
less
episode.
like she has the little bit of the booty shorts, but in the comics it's even less. No, Adam Eve
Sure, huh?
Adam Eve is probably my number one. Honestly, I love her.
So
I
Chloe
think
just said something that kind of
100%.
backs up what I
What
said.
I got? What a woman! What a woman!
I thought she was gonna be a trans character, like 100%.
Because her
Well-
the first season her logo is drawn
it's drawn very
less-
poorly. It looks like a
drawn very
female
poorly.
symbol
It
that's
looks like an
crossed out.
X over the female symbol, yeah.
Yeah, and then also it's just like the the very obvious pink and stuff. I'm like, yo, and it sounded like Adam Eve. Like every time it sounds like Adam
Exactly.
Eve.
Yeah.
That was done on
Um,
purpose.
Yeah.
So
So I'm
yeah,
like, yo,
Chloe says, "Oh, imagine being in a constant state of oh fuck, I'm getting old." That's probably like in Immortal's brain, but like I said, look how fast we're evolving through shit. It's now like on the front. It's in the front of his mind all the time now.
All right.
I like Battle Beast.
More.
His
No, he's
voice
fine.
actor is so awesome. I love Battle Beast. Oh, he's like, you promised me legendary opponents.
Oh, yeah,
Is
that's
he
really
acrobatic?
But he always gets fucking dog walked constantly. I love it.
But what was
they
with the
expand-
costume? Is that I assume that's a
because-
hint of something that I don't know yet?
It's a hint of something you don't know yet. They
Okay.
teased how Adam Eve is getting stronger and like changing. That's a hint of it. That's all.
Yeah. Cause that's the thing. When she got her shit kicked in, I was like, yeah, she's gonna come back sicko mode. Like, I was
Sicko
like, that's fine. But like, okay, because I'll be honest, you know what's funny? I actually kind of liked Duplicate, but the more I think about her, I'm like, actually, she sucks. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, when she died, I was the most upset about her of those three. But then I think about her, I'm like, she's a hoe, dude. Like, she is a hoe. I don't know, but I did feel bad about her more so than the others. In Shrinking Ray, I was kind of like, well,
She's so useless.
she's not useless. She's just boring.
Yeah, useless.
No,
Boring and useless. What does she do? What does she ever do? She doesn't do anything.
She fucks the leader of every team.
Yeah. Well, she didn't fuck Robot. Robot was also in the body of a child. So
Yeah, it's also like,
probably would have if not for that reason.
Yeah, that's some like anime ass bullshit. Putting two adults in children bodies and then making them date.
I
That's
do
like
like
an anime
Monster
plot.
Girl a lot. Monster Girl's a good character. I think that dynamic is interesting. I think Robot and Monster Girl, I'd say Invincible and Adam Eve, top couple. I do think, yeah, they also, what was it, that misogynist mummy line? That was so cringe.
I thought that was funny the first time. He's like, I need a man for the spell to work. That the first part in season 2, was it? Where he's like, the spell can only work with a man, though. You're both
Wait, what are we
women?
talking about?
Wait a minute. The
mummy.
the Kane Ra or whatever, the mummy. He's a 3-time gag. They find him in season 1. They break his tomb open in season 2, and then in season 3, during the Invincible War, Immortal punches his Mark variant into the tomb. I thought that the follow up, the bookend to the gag in season 3 was not as funny, but the first 2 parts were kind of cool. Like the first part was you're kind of intriguing because you're like, who's the mummy guy? And then the second part being like, Rah, I'm going to escape. I need to possess one of you. Wait, my spell only works on a man. Is it just you 2 women? What? Oh no! Like that was funny to me. Like, of course, the sexist the man from a monotheistic oligarch in Egypt, no less. Of course, his spell would only work on men. You know?
But I didn't like that. That was kind of grim. That was kind of that. I thought it could have been funny if it was that only works as a man and cut, but they had to go. You misogynist. Like, what if the spell only works? Like, is it because in Witchblade, right? It only works on a woman.
Yeah.
You don't have the men go. This is misandrous. No, it just only works on women. And it's just how cookie crumbles. But it felt like very current year. I don't know. It didn't feel like an authentic joke. It felt very current year. Personally,
that's what I really like about season 2.
You didn't like hearing Clancy Brown scream, "Damn you, accursed females!"
That was Clancy Brown. That's right. I forgot. But I just thought that distracted. Again, that was another example of ADHD in the fucking Invincible War arc. That happens. Why did we have time for that, but we didn't have time for so much other shit? Like explain
Jeff Bezos.
I'm telling you, Jeff Bezos is what's holding this show back. Kick like 10 times the budget to it, double the amount of episodes each season. Half these plot points disappear because we'll have time for the writing to explain shit.
We're going
to cut a check of $1 billion for Rings of Power for season 3.
I did like the use of the multiverse with Angstrom Levi. Levy, sorry. Yeah, I did like it. I think he's a good villain.
Yeah, with his metal balls.
His balls. That's the last thing I think.
Wait, is he the right? Wait, which one is he?
The fuck you?
Which villain is he? I'm sorry.
Who has
Battsauce is referring to the cameras. He's referring to the cameras that he barrages Invincible.
Oh, I was like, what?
Yeah, I was right. He does have metal balls, and he slaps them across Mark's face the entire fight.
Drags him across the face.
That's his whole thing. He's just like, "Whoa, my portals aren't tricking you. Here's my metal balls." And that's it. That's what he does. He's like, "Yeah, metal balls," and I'm like, "What's that gonna do against fucking Superman?" And like, apparently, it's pretty effective for a while.
I thought it was a cool power upgrade.
Out of all the things he could do with like
in the comics,
alien technology people, just gets cameras that he just flings at people. They're completely destructible. Like, what are we doing here, guys?
I want to know how he knew about those guys. That's my thing. Because he gets
his arm at the end, his synthetic arm, and it's like, man, these guys suck. Like, everyone has like way better synthetic arms back on Earth. Like, you can't even tell that's synthetic. This guy's like obviously
Bob.
Got a robot
Bob's
arm.
all robot, but he looks like a human.
Yeah.
Donald's all robot. He looks like a human.
Bob. Yeah. Oh, I said Bob.
No, it's Bobby Hill. That's why.
Is there anything else you wanted to touch on? Oh, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
I do love how in the Invincible War, Donald goes out and fights, and then he gets like ripped in half, just a arm, a midsection, and a head. And Britt like picks him up, and he's like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then he looks down, and he's like, "Well, most of me." I thought that, like, I appreciate a guy. Who
the fuck is Britt?
The guy voiced by Jonathan Banks, he's like saying
who, like, outside of that,
he's superhero dispatch. That's his thing. You know, like the sergeant at the fire station who tells everyone where they're going. That's his shtick.
Theo Snodgrass says
every time
was right the first time.
He constantly says this.
Okay, whatever helps you sleep at night.
I'm with him.
I don't
remember
who said this. It might have been you who said this. the
Who's you?
long fights, Boros, the long fights. Someone said that like way back in the beginning of the show, like the long fights was like a big thing that y'all liked about the show. I have a tendency to I can put myself completely into whatever's on screen, regardless of whatever. Like when Marks gets his shit kicked out of me, he's like on the ground, just like grunting, trying to move. I feel like my body starts to get it. I start to feel like it's like, man, I'm exhausted. Like I'm feeling the bruising, I'm feeling the soreness. Like, man, and the fights are just so brutal. Like, could I even get up? I probably couldn't. Like, it's just
How many times can he do that though, or until we believe
it? Constantly.
Like that final fight, constant. Like you get Mark like, oh, I'm gonna die, and then he's fighting again, and then he's like,
that's
but you could argue that
with
he's fighting again.
You can argue that with literally everything.
That's a big part of the comics.
You can argue that with anything, dude.
No, sorry, not every media does that. It's like yes, to like an extent sometimes, but like it just was one too many times. That's why the fight was dragging for me.
Sorry, Darnell. I adore this story, but I gotta side with Battsauce here. Like the Mark is one of the few instances in fiction where I think a protagonist losing so much starts to take away from them.
Agreed. 100% agree. 100% agree.
Like if you want a better example of a protagonist who loses a lot in their win-loss ratio, I turn you to Hunter x Hunter, Gone Freaks.
Hunter, let's go.
The main character of Hunter x Hunter, Gone Freaks, he has like a 3-8 win-loss ratio, and he still manages to be like a compelling character regardless. Yeah. I know my ratio is not correct. I haven't watched it in a while, but it's like something like that, right? Like 3-8 in terms of wins and losses, because he keeps getting saved, or he keeps like overexerting himself, so he needs to he'll lose,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to pull a character out of a losing fight, and so in this one, I don't know, but yeah, no, it's like a random character will come in to save somebody or something like that, but yeah, no, it just was too much on that final episode of Mark being like, I think we're gonna die, and then he doesn't. And then you got the same thing going with Adam Eve, and they got the same thing going on with Omni Boy.
I'm sorry, but Conquest slapping the shit out of Oliver had me laughing.
That was great. Yeah,
dude,
that was great.
You took a while to tell that kid laugh. Like,
he wanted to savor the moment.
Dude, I thought that fight was really good, but I was like, this isn't.
What's with the mom being like, Oliver, go save Mark?
I think she kind of realized she couldn't.
I like that. I'm tired of the parent.
What's with the mom being like,
no, you know what? Battsauce, big Battsauce L on this take.
And then this was like. No. At any point, it was very obvious that Oliver was going to get killed, and she's like, "No, you can go. You're ready now." What? I know this is the most powerful villain
she didn't
that we've come across.
You're ready. She did not say that. She said he's very strong. Don't get too close. Don't let him keep moving. Don't let him grab you.
I didn't know you were. I didn't know. I would have invited you. We're probably gonna wrap up soon, but I would have invited you, Theo, if I had known you watched the show too. I didn't even.
He does, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure she has like all this great fighting experience that she could just dump onto Oliver.
You know what, Theo? I'll send you the link if you want to. I could stay.
Her advice was good.
If anyone wants to hop out at any point, you can let me.
Yeah, the moment he stopped listening to it, is when he started losing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's something similar happened. Did something similar happen? There's a few parts of the run. I'm kind of like, because it's been almost 20 years since I've read it. Didn't she do something similar in the comics?
Yeah, she I think it's more direct. She says like, because the events play out like slightly different. Like she sees what she sees on the news isn't like damage in a fight. She literally sees Conquest like smashing Mark's face in. So she's like, holy shit, he needs help. You're the only thing I've got in front of me. Go help your brother. Like that's essentially what goes on.
Yeah.
Like in the comics, there's a little more, if it makes any sense, there's a little more precision to the desperation, which I guess you could say makes a little less sense because like the world just got like ass raped by a bunch of evil Superboys. So like in theory it would be more chaotic like it is in the show, you know? Yeah. So but yeah, that she does dispatch him like in the comic.
What's going on, Theo? How you doing?
Everybody.
Yeah, I didn't
realize.
realize.
Did you guys catch that latest Invincible episode? That was fun.
Let's start at the beginning.
Dude.
Yeah, we have to re-listen to all of it to catch up to the lore. All right, no, we'll just speed run this. So top 3 Invincible characters go. I know you're gonna say the Immortal probably is your fucking favorite.
Oh fuck. I really like Mark as a protagonist.
Yeah.
I think I know people dog the Immortal for just constantly getting dog walked. But like
he's also a bootlicker.
Yeah, I find him a really compelling. The idea of, oh, that's a cave person. You know what I mean? And he was also Abraham Lincoln. And later in the timeline, he becomes the emperor of mankind.
Yes.
That's an interesting character.
Which is why I hate him so much, because it's such an interesting idea and it's so fucking
It doesn't feel like it's well executed. I'll say that.
No.
Great idea.
Theo, have you read the comics?
No. Is it good?
It's not. I'm not gonna act like a lot of people pretend like there are people out there. I'm an anime fan, obviously.
Right.
And
I clocked
there are some people out there, like there are good mangas, there are okay mangas, there are bad mangas.
Yeah.
Almost every time a show comes out from anime, if even one little thing is wrong, people will act like the manga is fucking Lord of the Rings. And there's a lot of that here where people are acting like the Invincible comics are like the Bible. And I'm like, okay, look, some parts are better done. I would say the dialogue from that future Immortal arc is better in the comic.
Yeah.
But other than that, beat for beat, the story is pretty much the same in terms of like basic premise. So if you have a problem with the basic premise, I'm not going to defend it because it's the exact same except for the dialogue between him and Mark, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying I'm asking if you read the comics.
That episode was just like, I'll be honest, I'm like, this Mark is finally about to get with Adam Eve. It's like, we got to go to the Invincible. It's the fucking worst character in the whole goddamn show. Fuck you.
Dude, I actually really enjoyed all of the Invincible variants coming through. I really liked all of the marks from other realities. I like that he's evil in like every reality except this one. That's my favorite. Ekstrom Levy's plan makes no sense though.
Yeah, no. Has anyone put together the reason why our Mark is one of the only good ones?
Hold on. Because one of the things I was going to talk about
is it because he had an Asian mom?
No. Well, you're half right.
All right.
It's because when he takes longer to get his powers, his dad neglects him and his kind mom raises him. Therefore, he turns out good.
Oh, so he's good because he's gay? That sucks.
What?
That's terrible.
No.
That's terrible.
No.
What did you watch?
I'm sorry.
That's
Theo's take of 2025. If your mom loves you, you're gay.
Of course, I thought Omni-Man was right the first time. And so I think if they can conquer us, they probably should. No?
That's what I said.
I mean, Battsauce is making the point that if a kaiju comes out of the ocean every other...
Yeah, exactly. Battsauce. This is a world where kaijus regularly appear. Yeah. Right? Like, here's the thing.
I'm with you.
Why are there major cities anywhere?
They can't even handle Dr. Size.
Why are there major
cities? Seriously.
They can't be trusted in anything.
This is what I'm saying is like they have these incidents with such a regularity that it doesn't make sense to have millions of people living in the same spot.
Right.
Really? Like here's the thing. Kaijus attack cruise ships, right? Why are there cruise ships if there are kaijus? That doesn't make sense. Fucking adapt, people. This is why if the Viltrumites took over, we wouldn't have this shit.
Yeah, they get protection.
But they also enslaved the entire race. Like you were like there.
What does that mean though? They enslaved the entire race, and they're like, "You're a slave." Okay, cool.
Alan the alien is.
There's two of you. There's two of you on the planet. I'm going to be super generous. There's two of you on the planet.
Alan the alien
is a
living, speaking, breathing example of what this means. His people were literally holocausted by the Viltrumites.
Who was?
That's why Alan the alien, Seth Rogen's character.
That's why they take over. That's what they do when they take over planets.
Back.
Getting back, so I am staunch anti-Viltrumite, as I want to clarify, unlike these guys. I am sympathetic to Alan Alien. Anyway, I really, overall, I think the season was good, but it definitely felt like it wasn't as solid with the bookends. But I don't care because I think the content we got was pretty good. I think we got a lot of good stuff.
I don't think they need bookends. If it's an 8-episode season, they feel like they're gonna rush it. Just leave it how like it is. It kind of left it open to continue the story. You're gonna bookend a season, it's got to be like 16 or more episodes.
Agreed.
Dude, I hated the Adam Eve standalone. Am I the only one who just?
I liked it.
The only good thing about that episode was the fight. That's the only good thing was the fight.
Wait, why didn't you guys? So was any of that in the comics? The Adam Eve?
I think so. Like,
why didn't you guys like it? I'm just curious because I liked it because I like
because it gets drawn out a little bit too much, and then
it was definitely a little too slow.
The villains are really half-assed. It's just
the villains were kind of cringe.
Yeah, and it's sad. It's sad because it's one of Lance Reddick's last roles, and because I think he passed away before he finished recording because the character has like an awkward 3 lines and doesn't really do anything. So it's just a jumble of a special. There's the only good part is when she fights her half siblings from the lab. Once she kills them, it's done being good. Just because you get to see how imaginative Kid Eve was with her powers.
Yeah, that was fun.
She just seemed like she was trying extra with her moves. Like, I don't know. I always felt like there was a more precise way to maybe use her powers, but I don't know. It wasn't bad.
You're telling me when Jon Stewart whips out an army of AK-47s using his Green Lantern ring, you don't like it?
No, what do you mean? I like that. Did it work? Was it effective?
Yes.
There you go. I don't know. I also don't remember it well enough. My memory sucks, so I can't really.
Because in the Adam and Eve special,
I just remember how I felt.
In the Adam Eve special,
Adam and Eve special, they procreate.
She wins in the Adam Eve special. Like she wins that fight.
No, I remember. I remember that much. I just don't remember what I was meh about in that.
All right. So, any closing thoughts as we draw to an end? It's been on the season, the finale. I will say I think the fight was brutal. I still think the Omni-Man one is better, just because it was more personal. But I think this one was good. But I don't know if it'll. But it was still a pretty good fight.
That was another rehashing some of the.
But yeah, it did feel familiar. Notes. I didn't personally. I thought the fight itself was cool, but I don't think it'll be as memorable. I thought the Angstrom Lee fight felt more personal too. Levy fight felt more personal, but this fight was still pretty cool. But yeah, I wasn't blown away, but I was like, that was pretty cool. It was brutal, but again, after the train scene, that beach scene, I was like, I've seen this.
Yeah, literally, I'm thinking like, oh, it's the train scene.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Be a little bit more new.
Yeah, well, maybe it was like
of other.
My takeaway from that is like, oh, this is the thing Viltrumites do a lot.
Yeah.
That was my impression of that. Was like, oh, this is how they break the will of someone they're fighting.
Yeah. Which I think it works.
And that's what
the only reason Anissa didn't do it to Alan is because she knows he's the lone survivor.
Yeah. Well, think about it. Like Conquest is the OG, right? So maybe Nolan learned that move from Conquest.
Oh God. Maybe now you'll learn, as I did once from my master.
Yeah, like maybe that's where he picked up the trick. I don't know.
No, it's silly. The whole thing is to teach them how paper thin like human beings are.
Yeah.
And
so I do think the trade team is a lot more impactful.
He did it. He did it to hurt Mark because he knows how Mark cares about people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wouldn't make sense for Conquest to do it. It just was like, remember when this happened? You guys like
Conquest almost makes
sense because he says earlier to fight. After I take care of you, I'm gonna kill everyone in this world. And when he realized it would be not as easy to take Mark out as he thought, he took him to the beach and started killing every fucking person.
I mean, we're talking about a guy who literally gets his rocks off to touching warm blood coming out of something else. I don't find it far-fetched that he would just splatter some people during a fight.
No, I think it was fine. I think I enjoyed the episode. I don't know if it would be as memorable, but even still, it was fine on its own. I think the Adam Eve moment was really cool. They beat him kind of quick, but it works because Adam Eve, who's a G, that whole part where she recovers, I think that was cool. The fact that they were in such a dire straits, and then they have to immediately adapt to a new Viltrumite, leaves us in a very interesting situation. So overall, it was fun.
Conquest should have killed Rexplode. That would have been way better.
That would have been. You think? Yeah, I mean, the Invincible variants were not that impactful as villains.
They felt like throwaway villains.
I don't think the Conquest.
So it's just like.
What were you gonna say?
I think it's funny how she addressed that she was naked. Yeah. Like when she burned off her clothes, she just like as she's fading into unconsciousness, she's like, "Am I naked? Why?"
Yeah. Honestly, 0 out of 10 because we didn't see her naked. Honestly.
So it's like her. At first, she said her powers can't affect anything living.
Theo, back me up here. Invincible women are so mid.
Okay, that's not my position either.
That's not his position.
Stop beating off to cartoons and go outside, guys. There's girls outside. You know that, right? You know about girls. You've heard about.
No, I'm saying that because Vaughn says Adam Eve is like the bombshell of Invincible, and I'm like, no. None of them are. They're all awful looking.
Well, here's the thing. I'm old enough to know that redheads are trouble. So I know what I'm looking at when I see Adam Eve.
My mom's a redhead, so I know.
Yeah, Steve, and they made you. Look what happened.
Yeah,
so my mom's a redhead. That's why I agree. I mean, look at my chair, and then look at my jacket. Tell me like what I'm a fan of. So like, anyways,
crazy.
I'm the
you guys haven't learned your lesson yet. That's the thing. Vaughn's still optimistic. He still thinks he can fix them. As not, you guys.
I have that same problem. I do.
I have a thing for redheads. I'll admit.
The fact y'all said the Invincibles were a throwaway villain, it just backs up that they need more episodes per season because the Invincible War, it doesn't just get ended like it started and ended like that.
And it was like, hey,
all done.
Here are these characters. Bye.
Battsauce is correct. A lot of his criticisms of the arc itself still apply, but the pacing one does not in the comic.
Now, I do have to say, I forgot who mentioned they're like, we're all the heroes. They were helping build that. Why didn't no one help with Invincible? That actually happens in the comics quite often, and that's why I brought up the tiers. Like they know what tier they're in. If they see Invincible's having trouble with somebody, they know they have no chance. So they'll actively say like, I ain't going near that shit.
I think that's one of the things that's cool about the show is that Invincible is like the one character who's like more powerful than the others, and you kind of see how the other characters are really trying their best, and also the weight of being the one guy who's the strongest that he has to do all this shit.
They keep saying it. I just don't believe it. I mean, I want to see those Dr. Seismic centipedes. Like those are like, can they just control those? Like the story's over.
Cecil just needs to weaponize those teeth. That's all he needs to do. Make like a pair of brass knuckles with those centipede teeth. Next time Mark mouths off, just bah.
Yeah.
Cecil was right.
I like Cecil's role. I guess we didn't talk about Cecil's backstory.
Yeah.
Cecil's the GOAT
in this. Like Cecil's backstory was kind of went at some point in this. Like I thought that was pretty good. I like there was a line that I really enjoyed. Like Cecil's mentor, I guess you'd call him, when he was like, you can be the good guy or you could be the
guy who saves the world.
Yeah, you can't be both. I like that. That was
because it's true. Because it's true half the time.
Yeah, I finished it. Oh, you finished? I've been finished.
Now, I felt a lot like in the comics and again in the show, like Cecil has too many secrets.
Yeah, Ben was watching.
I agree with you saying you can be the hero, you can be the everyone likes you, or you save the world. I just don't like how often he like does whatever the fuck he wants. I'm sitting there like reading it, looking at the pages, or even looking at the TV, like, why? You're just gonna cause more problems down the line with this. And
I think most of the decisions he makes are the right decisions, except for at the end with the Conquest thing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about specifically.
That was
I get where he's coming from, but
TV show stuff.
Like I feel like there's a more effective way to do it. Like his whole interrogate him. No, kill him and have
D.A. Sinclair, make him a Reaniman.
Also, what was with
There,
the
you
super
win.
forced? What's his name? Not Nightwing. Whatever the fuck his name is. The Batman or
Darkwing?
the
Darkwing?
Darkwing. What was with the like? He's killed people before.
Yeah, that was like a big over exaggeration.
Well, that's to set. That's to show you Mark's mentality was black or white. There's no gray ground.
But I feel
And
like Mark is
that was
like
important.
hugged
That was
his
important.
dad.
That was important. That was important.
But that doesn't even like
that
register
kind
with
of
the
was weird to me,
reaction that
too.
was in season the when we saw him previously in the other season.
Yeah, he
It's
didn't
just
like
like
hate him
that-
in season 2.
What's that?
He didn't hate him. I'm agreeing with you. I'm like he didn't hate him.
Yeah,
in
like
season 2.
it's just like he like knocked him out. I don't remember him dying. Am I like? Did I miss
think
something?
He did kill him. Or so,
Really?
he did die. He did die, or he was almost dead. Mark
Yeah,
thought
I
he
just
was
remember
dead.
getting like judo chopped, and then I thought we didn't see him again. But it's whatever. Either way, I'm like, I don't know what the hell this reaction is. It's like, oh my god, he's murdered some people.
It's just
like,
showing. It's showing Mark's immaturity, and it's going to pay off in the later down the road.
No, I don't buy a character being that mature though. I think that's I think that's poor writing. I just like out of all the things that we have seen him experience,
I agree.
it's just like
Yeah.
what kind of like dweeb doesn't like understand what the hell's going on here.
So, if I can steelman Mark's position a little bit, I think he's trying to distinguish himself from his father. I think that might be one of the things that
He's
motivates
coping.
him most.
Oh.
That might be one of his biggest motivations is trying to distinguish himself from his father, while at the same time really kind of admiring his father a little bit and wanting to be just like him because he didn't undo all those times he saved the world, right? So he's got this really complex like daddy
That's what I'm
thing
saying.
going on.
It's a
Yeah,
long term. It's a
and-
long term thing.
You know, and
So out of
Cecil's
all
kind of
the
like
people
his
to be
sneaky
upset,
stepdad trying to put rules on him.
Darkwing?
You know.
Like he's getting upset at Darkwing.
Yeah, Darkwing felt like a really minor threat too.
Well,
in
Darkwing,
season
I
2.
think Darkwing
Like, was
the
he
one
even
was
an
like-
entire episode, or was he just?
No,
part of the episode?
remember, Darkwing was a minor thing. He was like, "What the hell? Why is Darkwing here?" But then when D.A. Sinclair's Reaniman showed up, that's when he lost his shit. Like D.A. Sinclair, the
Yeah.
one who like hurt his best friend's significant other.
I
tore him
get
apart.
that.
That
Don't
one,
get
that one was
Darkwing.
the one that pushed him over the edge.
Yeah, I agree.
Darkwing was the first domino. D.A. Sinclair tipped the.
And think back to
Tips
when you get emotional, how like something that was minor to you minutes before
Yeah,
is
I
like
really gotta see
fucking is magnified in your head now.
Yeah. It's
It was
possible
all
that
of it. It wasn't
maybe
just
Mark
part of it.
just doesn't have a good reason for hating Darkwing, but he's also there, and he's in the
'Cause
middle
he's
of a
black.
rant, and he's running out of shit to say.
'Cause
So he's
remember,
like, "And
Darkwing-
fucking Darkwing
Darkwing-
is here."
No,
What the
remember
fuck?
Darkwing. Remember,
He's
Darkwing is
immature.
also the one guy who's trying to do better. Darkwing like sacrifices
Yeah.
himself to save everyone from an evil Invincible.
I did some
So,
wrong,
like-
man. I'm trying to put myself in the right path. Adam Eve has killed people.
Yeah,
So-
but that booty though.
She murdered her brothers.
Junk
But
said
she's a
something.
redhead.
Fuck them.
Junk said something in a better way than I could. Cecil
were
invests more in the
subhuman.
contingencies than he does on the heroes that are there. And that's what I was getting about by Cecil.
Because the heroes that are there suck.
Yeah,
He's like,
exactly.
These guys
'Cause they're
really
just
suck.
fucking
They're bad at
immortal.
their job. We need something better.
Yeah, Cecil's fucking based. If there's one takeaway,
Vaughn.
Cecil
Yeah.
based.
Vaughn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get ready to head out, guys.
Oh, you gotta head out. I'm
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's
sorry.
getting late.
Dude,
No,
Yeah,
no
I think we
problem,
might wrap up soon. Do you have anything you want to promote or any last thoughts?
Yeah. I guess I could say, yeah, my comic book series VK. The digital copy had just, I just sent that out yesterday. Now it's Friday now or whatever. So those who backed it, the physical copies will be at my studio next week. So I'll be beginning fulfillment. So everybody better get their copies. Those who missed out on the special covers that I had for cover B, cover C, and D, these are no longer available. They were only campaign exclusive. Those of you not familiar with my comic series, I'm going with more of a anime style.
Oh, nice.
Well, yeah, fully colored. I went with the gloss texture and everything, and also cover D is like a manga type, fully wrapped, and it pretty much gives you, it pretty much gives you like insight, or it foreshadows events either in the chapter or future events. So you better
Hell yeah.
put clues and everything in it and everything. So, but yeah, man, I'm super excited for it. My website for Venus and Ryan Comics launched I'm trying to have it out by next month. So those who missed out on chapter 1 will be able to buy the base cover, which is cover A, at my store. And this is cover A right here, just in case and everything. And I'll be at a couple of conventions this year, so you'll be able to catch me there as well. I'll have a convention cover for those who those who want to get the convention cover, and I will also have a store cover too when I launch my website. But that pretty much wraps everything up. I appreciate coming onto the stream.
Of course,
Definitely.
thanks for coming on.
And also when I have my streams and stuff, I like to invite you guys too, so my audience get a chance to meet you guys,
dude.
And stuff like that.
Like I said before, dude, I was marking out backstage, I see him everywhere. I want to fucking stream with Mugen Lord. It's so crazy. I was fucking geeking out, man.
I gotta get. By the way, I missed your. I'll have to get your comic.
No problem.
Yeah, I'll make sure I get it.
Yeah. It's a crazy month. Also, it's my birthday this month and my daughter's birthday. Forgot.
Oh shit,
dude. Yeah.
My daughter will be 16. I'll be 38. So
Oh,
I'm getting there.
Oh, I got a 12-year-old, 10, 9, and 5-year-old.
Yeah.
2 and 3 weeks.
Oh,
congratulations.
Yeah. So
3 weeks.
Have a
2
good
weeks.
night.
2 weeks.
I appreciate it, guys.
Of course.
Dang,
Make sure to give him a
that's you're
follow.
turning 2?
No problem. Have a good night, y'all.
Have a good one, man.
Peace.
It's awesome meeting you.
What'd you say, Burrows?
I said, dang, Battsauce, you're only 2? That explains a lot.
Yeah. I was almost a leap baby, man. I'd be like 5.
Dude, that was freaking. I was like weirded out the whole time, dude. Mugen Lord, I see it dude everywhere. I was like, fucking.
Dude, you're like fanboying like crazy.
Dude, he's cool. I see his ass everywhere, and like all kinds of videos and shit. I'm like, holy crap! It's the biggest dude I've streamed with so far. He's awesome.
It's cool. Man. That's really cool stuff, man. Yeah, no.
I believe I'm the biggest person that you're.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
World-renowned writer of the dance
Yes.
I mean, there's a reason that short bus is leaning back. So yeah.
I have. So I guess we'll call it a night. Do you guys want to? I guess we'll close out. Darnell, any final thoughts or anything? Anything you want to promote? Any final thoughts in the episode?
I'm glad season 3 stopped the trajectory that Seth Rogen shows tend to take. The Boys, his fucking general liberal mindset, always infecting everything he's in. I do think him voicing Alan the Alien was his choice.
But I think he worked as.
But
what?
He's an executive producer on the show. His type of hilarity, his humor, I think he would have picked that role on purpose for that reason.
Yeah.
Because it's like
it's Seth Rogen. I just don't want to hear his voice.
Me neither. I can't stand his voice.
It's crazy because his voice is the part of him I like the least.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How is it possible that he can monetize
his
that?
liberal bullshit.
What's the part of him you like the most? I'm scared to ask.
His voice.
Maybe the glasses.
His voice.
His glasses.
His glasses.
The Seth Rogen glasses stay on during sex.
But yeah, I'm glad it veered away from the lecturing in season 2. It kind of got back to the heart of the comic. You know, Mark growing as a person and his, just the progression of his powers, which you didn't really see in 8-ish episodes, but you will see at some point he fucking skyrockets. As for promotion, I mentioned earlier, I'm on insert title here Friday nights with Drunken Imoraro, Saturday mornings with This Man Touch Grass with Theo Snodgrass, every other Saturday with Ultimate Full Metal Nate. We do Curse of Strahd, This Man as well, and then Monday nights I do Pop Culture Beatdown with Third Railify. We do mainly, I think it's Rumble exclusive, and YouTube.com/Asham Records. I make AI music. I got about 20 songs up now, one full album up there, and I'll be working on more. And I do music for various panel shows.
Cool.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's not too excited.
Yeah, and PirateKingBoros, over to you, buddy.
No, I'm just I say cool to the AI.
No,
music
I'm fucking with
because
you.
No, genuinely though, I say cool because I've heard some pretty. I just randomly find songs. At first, I think they're real. I'm like, this is cool. How come I've never heard this before? And then I'll be like, wait, that was made with AI. Okay, cool. I have a very Shadiversity mindset towards AI. I think it can be used positively in the right hands. It can help a lot of people. But it's my turn.
Yeah. Let's go.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Did he freeze again?
No.
Froze.
I think he froze again.
All
He froze
right.
earlier.
What's Pirate Kingdom? You want me to do his part?
No,
Oh,
no,
he's
he
back.
just
Oh, damn
everything
it.
froze.
He's
Everything
back.
froze, and you all spun, and then now it's back. Anyways, so you want me, my stuff, and my thoughts on the episode, the final thoughts?
Yes, he wants you.
Anyways, so yeah, I think narratively the show is coming back. Season 2 was a bit of a drag, but narratively it's coming back. I think the only way it could maintain upward momentum in a positive sense beyond the story continuing in the direction it's going is for the animation to pick it up. Because the art style can be fine. I will take minimalist art styles if the animation is sleek. Like, that is what I'll tolerate. Like the Bruce Timm verse, all that stuff like that. I love that. So I think Invincible, writing-wise, it's only climbing back up. But animation-wise, it needs to climb back up too. So yeah, my current ranking is 1, 3, 2. That's my ranking in terms of seasons. Because I think season 1 is glorious. Amber is literally my only problem with season 1.
Yeah.
And it was apparently Kirkman's too, because he rewrote her in seasons 2 and 3.
He literally just like lobotomized her and gave her a new personality in the second season. Like, she's not even
Exactly.
close to the same person.
It was so fun. Even so,
Why is
we
everyone
still
so
got-
down on season 2? I'm just curious because I kind of like season 2. I've been season 2 and 3, so I didn't really have the gap between 2 and 3. I feel like
despite its multiverse tie-ins, it still felt very like aimless. Like for example, we only started addressing like the Nolan stuff at the very end. Like the stinger of the season was like, I think I miss my wife, and like that was it. And people are like, really? Like, we're all waiting for the Viltrumite universe stuff to start happening. Why are we taking so long to get to that? Like my brother while watching this season was losing his mind, going, how did we go from Alan the alien and Nolan Grayson smashing a Viltrumite's head between their fists to Debbie's awkward date with the real estate man? And I'm like, yeah, the plot is a bit scattered right now. Trust me, though, it'll get better.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so that's that. Anyways, I have been PirateKingBoros. I stream on weekends
You gotta
when I
get
have
on
the
Twitter
time.
again, man. We have a group.
No, I am.
Oh,
My
join the
mental
Discord
state.
then.
My mental state has started climbing back out of the pit. I'm not going back on there.
I don't blame you. It's the numbers on me too. To be honest. I'm inviting you to. I'll invite him to the Rose Discord. Right?
Oh, nice. Anyways,
Is that good?
I'll
Or
join
should I
that.
not?
Yeah,
Should I wait?
no, I'll join it. But anyways, yeah, PirateKingBoros. I stream on Twitch. I stream on YouTube. I also post on YouTube. I'm writing scripted content for YouTube as well, but that's taking a little longer because every topic I choose is insanely complex, so it takes me forever to get those videos out. But I'm also writing an indie comic, which is also taking insanely forever because I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to get the entire story ironed out to a T before I start anything else because I'm a big stickler. I am someone who believes that every form of fiction lives and dies on the writing. Like, I trash Invincible's animation, but as it stands right now, it has 3 seasons of consistent writing. Meanwhile, Arcane couldn't manage 2, you know? So I think writing should be the priority in everything. So that's why I'm prioritizing that. But anyways, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I'll have to introduce you. I should try and get you on Rose Gallery because all these guys, we all know each other. We're all part of a group that stream together. So we should probably get you.
Might be easier for the Wednesday episode. Maybe a Wednesday episode might be easier.
All right, yeah, we'll get you in touch. All right, Theo, over to you. We're actually Battsauce is away. All right, so Theo, over to you.
All right. Well, my name is Theo Snodgrass. I'm a stand-up comedian, a podcaster, voice actor, womanizer, handsome person on the internet. If you are interested in any of those things, come and find me. I'm actually posting my link tree in the chat right now, so you can just go ahead and check that out. Do you? Oh no, I can't because I don't have a thing. I'm gonna put it in the.
I'll put you in the. No,
ladies, send him videos of women sitting on cakes.
That's not. That's not.
All right, I just
we don't have time to get into that.
I'm just opening the door for you, man.
So yeah, I host a show called Touch Grass with Theo Snodgrass. That's over on my YouTube channel at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you I also appear on the Rogues Gallery with Iron Oxide. I also appear on insert title here on Drunken Emerald Arrow Show. And I appear on a bunch of other stuff. So if you want to keep track of what I'm doing, if you want to see my stand-up, if you want to know where I'm doing stand-up in a city near you, then you should go ahead and follow me on X, follow me on YouTube. And you know what? Subscribe to my Patreon. And maybe while you're there, stop in, buy something from my merch store. And then buy something for your mom. Yeah. Like, keep buying stuff. Buy stuff from me.
Awesome. By the way, Isak, when he had to leave because his phone died, but he wanted to say he had a good time and everything. Also, Battsauce just DM'd me saying, I'm pooping. Don't wait for me to sign off. So.
All right.
So make sure to check out his book, Illumination Toolsmith, Tale of the Dunce Whisperer, which you can find on Amazon. I'm not even joking. Those are the exact words.
That's a great title. That's a great title. I love that.
Yeah,
I haven't even read it, and it sounds like peak.
It's yeah, quite the intellectual. So real quick, we do have, if you guys haven't already, I have a short story horror collection. The deadline to write something is Monday. So if you want to turn in a short story, you just have until Monday to do that. Let me go ahead and I have the link. Let me go ahead and plop that in the chat. If you guys haven't had the chance, we accept short stories, poems. And if you're an artist and want to submit some black and white artwork, you can go ahead and do that too. So yeah, let me go ahead and post that. And then also my comic book is being formatted for the printer, which means we're basically about done. So if you have not backed it yet, make sure you guys do that. The Kickstarter closes tomorrow, like afternoon. So if you want to back there, but also it's going to be on Indiegogo and Fund My Comic as well. Next time I'll do an like platform exclusives. But oh, nice! We're at 91 backers on Kickstarter. So if hopefully we can close out at 100. That would be cool. But yeah. Let me make sure to do that again. Indiegogo is also. I'd love to get that funded. People seem to not be that into that platform anymore. I'm like barely scraping by in there, but I'm doing well on the other.
Remember, guys, go support Phenomenova. He's on the cover.
Oh yeah,
he's throwing his heart out to you.
God damn it,
he's throwing his heart out to you.
Oh my god! All right, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna close the trailer with the Phenomenova trailer. Have a great night.
Good night.
Great rest of your night. Peace out.
I just want it to be like the Crusader Corps. Like my father. I thought with my new powers I could be. But I failed. I let everyone down. I got people hurt. I just wanted to make the world a better place. And instead I made things worse. But now I have the chance to make things right with the help of one of the Crusader Corps. The Phoenix Section. And I will. I have to. Whatever it takes. I will find that spark again.